informed that security forces and civilians from any part of the country residing in the Union Territory can now cast vote in the assembly elections of Jammu and Kashmir.
The Chief Electoral Officer of Jammu and Kashmir, Hirdesh Kumar, informed that the Representation of People Act has been fully implemented in the territory after the abrogation of Article 370.
एक काफ़ी तादाद में वो लोग भी यहाँ पे वोट बनवा सकते हैं जो पहले वोटर लिस्ट का हिस्सा नहीं थे असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज की, जैसे कोई अदर प्रदेश से प्रांत से या यूटी से यहाँ पे लेबर, एम्प्लॉयमेंट, एजुकेशन या सर्विस पर्पस से, बिजनेस पर्पस से यहाँ पे ऑर्डिनरीली रिजाइड कर रहे हैं। अब उनको भी ये ऑप्शन है, अगर वो चाहें तो यहाँ पे अपना वोट बनवा सकते हैं।
Hirdesh Kumar informed that the security forces and civilians from any part of the country residing in the Union Territory can now cast vote in the assembly elections of Jammu and Kashmir. However, he said that the details of the voters will be verified by Jammu and Kashmir's Assistant Returning Officer.
उसमें 18 प्लस होना जरूरी है और द पर्सन शुड बी ऑर्डिनरीली रिजाइडिंग एट दैट प्लेस। तो उसका जो फैसला है वो कंसर्न बीएलओ और ईआरओज को करना है। ईआरओ इज़ द अथॉरिटी, इलेक्टोरल रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिसर है हर असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में। वो अपने को मुतमईन करेगा कि हाँ ये यहाँ पे रहता है, ये यहाँ पे नौकरी भी करता है या यहाँ पे ये पढ़ रहा है।
Despite repeated demands by political parties to conduct assembly polls in Jammu and Kashmir, the Election Commission on August 8th revised the date for publication of electoral rolls in the Union Territory to November 25th. Expressing strong reservations over inclusion of outside voters in Jammu and Kashmir electoral rolls, Congress said that this move clearly shows that BJP has lost local support, so it wants outsiders to defeat mandate of the people of the Union Territory.
तो वो ऑर्डिनरी रेजिडेंट की जो डेफिनेशन है कानून के मुताबिक, उसको उसी स्टेट का, उसी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी का जहां वो रहता है, जहां ऑर्डिनरीली वो रेजिडेंट है, वहीं का वोटर समझा जाता है। अब ये जो डेफिनेशन बता रहे हैं, इसके मुताबिक वो यहाँ का उसको ऑर्डिनरी रेजिडेंट ट्रीट करेंगे, उसको फिर यहाँ डोमिसाइल से ही साबित होता है कि वो यहाँ का रहना चाहता है, रहने का बाशिंदा है और वहाँ से उसने वोट कटवाया है।
Earlier in May this year, a 3-member delimitation commission for Jammu and Kashmir signed the final order for restructuring assembly seats in the Union Territory. The commission, headed by retired Supreme Court Judge Ranjana Prakash, suggested increasing the number of seats in both Jammu as well as Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir has been without an elected government since June 2018, after BJP withdrew its support to Mehbooba Mufti's PDP-led coalition government. One of the reasons the party cited for withdrawing its support was the deteriorating security situation in the former state. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
On the other side, National Security Advisor Ajay Doval visits Moscow, meets Russian Deputy PM, discusses trade and economic ties. Taiwan slams China's military drill, says it undermines regional stability.
Raids have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
Coming from West Bengal, where 2 terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
Jagdish Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots, and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leaders is making a deliberate attempt by visiting Golden Temple with the t-shirt of Jagdish Titler to create the communal tension in Punjab. Jagdish Titler की टी-शर्ट डाल के वो गोल्डन टेम्पल में जाते हैं करमजीत सिंह गिल, क्या वो कांग्रेस के लीडर हैं या नहीं है?
मैं ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को जानता नहीं हूँ भैया कि वो किसी पद पे हैं या नहीं है, लेकिन जो मेरे को बताया गया एससी विंग ने कि वो हमारे किसी पद पे नहीं। मैं कह रहा हूँ उसके ऊपर पर्चा देके एसजीपीसी अंदर दे दें, हमें क्या मतलब है?
बाकी प्रदेशों में, बाकी यूटीज में रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट के तहत जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं वो यहाँ पे भी अप्लाई होते हैं।
बीजेपी के 25 लाख जो नॉन लोकल्स हैं वोटर्स, उनको यहाँ इंक्लूड किया जाएगा, एंड आई थिंक दिस इज द लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफन ऑफ इलेक्टोरल डेमोक्रेसी है।
घुसपैठिए के रूप में ही गिने जाएंगे। उनको वापस भेजने की बात विदेश मंत्रालय के माध्यम से संबंधित देशों से की जा रही है।
आप केंद्र सरकार का स्पष्ट रुख देश के सामने रखें, और दिल्ली सरकार बार बार अपना रुख साफ कर चुकी है।
This time very clearly, no answers from him. Our keys continue to be with his men. We faced intimidation here. We've been trying to get in touch with you and ask you several questions on the land deals that you had along with Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Why are you trying to avoid the camera?
Once again trying to get in a word with Mr. Vijay Mallya.
Persistently been asking you only one question. Mallya, why did you escape in 2015?
National Security Advisor Ajit Doval visits Moscow, meets Russian Deputy PM, discusses trade and economic ties. Taiwan slams China's military drill, says it undermines regional stability. Zelensky, Erdogan and UN Secretary General Guterres hold trilateral summit in Ukraine. Discussed Russia-Ukraine conflict. Russian strike on a dormitory in Kharkiv kills 11, leaving 40 others injured. Hello and welcome to World This Morning on Republic. I'm Rukma, and our top story: Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov met with India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval on Thursday during the latter's visit to Moscow. Here are the details.
Russia's Deputy Prime Minister and Industry Minister met with India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. This was Ajit Doval's first visit to Moscow after the Russia-Ukraine war. The Deputy Prime Minister also attended a meeting as the chair of the Russian part of the Intergovernmental Russian-Indian Commission on Trade, Economic, Scientific, Technological and Cultural Cooperation. During the meeting, the two sides discussed the expansion of trade and commercial ties, as well as current concerns regarding the collaboration in other areas of mutual interest, including the peaceful use of space. The Russian Deputy Prime Minister also extended his greetings to Indian partners on the country's 75th anniversary of independence. Earlier on August 17th, Doval also met his Russian counterpart Nikolai Patrushev and held discussions over the bilateral cooperation between the two countries and also on issues of regional and global interest. is pertinent to mention that India has been committed to remain engaged with Russia despite immense pressure from the Western countries in the wake of the ongoing war in Ukraine. One of the main tenets of Indian foreign policy is its bilateral relations with Russia. India views Russia as a dependable ally who has contributed much to its security and economic growth over the years. Russia has also been India's partner in the nuclear energy sector and regards it as a nation with cutting-edge nuclear technology and an exemplary non-proliferation record. Agency report, Republic TV.
Taiwanese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Joanne Wu gave a press conference in Taipei on Thursday regarding the tensions with mainland China and the recent US trade negotiations.
A press conference was reported in Taipei that was addressed by Taiwan's Foreign Minister spokesperson Joanne. The conference was held regarding the tensions with mainland China and the recent US trade negotiations. During the press conference, Joanne spoke about the series of provocative military operations that was carried out and that it is highly condemned to.
台美双方呢，我们是在8月18号的时候呢，正式的宣布这个启动台湾跟美国21世纪贸易倡议 US-Taiwan Initiative on 21st Century Trade 这样的一个协商的谈判。那台美双方呢，我们是以高效率的一个态度积极的合作。
She further spoke about the announcement that Taipei made during the negotiations that was between US-Taiwan Initiative on 21st Century Trade.
美国全方位的合作伙伴关系，强化彼此的一个经贸合作跟往来，也能够在致力在印太区域，我们能够塑造一个更公平、更稳定、更繁荣，而且具韧性的一个经贸秩序，来共同进一步的促进我们区域的一个开放、自由、稳定跟繁荣。以上，我们对了解中方企图并吞台湾的野心是昭然若揭。
Remember, Taiwan condemned China's renewed military drills, saying that it undermined regional stability and interferes with important shipping routes in the region. Agency report, Republic TV.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres and Turkish President Recep Erdogan held talks in Lviv, marking its first visit to Ukraine by Erdogan since the outbreak of the war and the second by Guterres.
Turkish President Erdogan has met his Ukrainian counterpart at the United Nations chief in western Ukraine's Lviv city. The purpose for the trilateral summit was to discuss diplomatic solutions to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The meeting marked Erdogan's first in-person discussion with Zelensky since Russia sent troops into Ukraine on February 24. With the Turkish leader taking the lead in mediating between Ukraine and Russia, both the delegations met earlier in Turkey as a part of these efforts. Meanwhile, this trilateral summit in Lviv would focus on potential political steps to bring an end to the deadly fighting in Ukraine and would address the issue of Ukrainian grain exports too. While Turkey agreed to help rebuild Ukraine's infrastructure, including roads and bridges, Zelensky asked Guterres to seek UN access to Ukrainian citizens deported to Russia. He further requested the UN to help in freeing the captured Ukrainian soldiers and the medics. While the trilateral meet focuses on potential steps for a political solution to the Ukraine conflict, Ukraine also agreed with Guterres to continue coordination on implementation of a Turkey-brokered deal that restarted shipments of Ukrainian grain from Black Sea ports. Agency report, Republic TV.
A Russian strike on a dormitory in Kharkiv late on Wednesday killed at least 11 people and injured 60. However, there are more people feared to be trapped under the rubble. Take a look.
As the Russia-Ukraine war continues with no seeming end, a Russian strike on dormitory in Kharkiv killed at least 7 people and injured 16 on Wednesday. The head of the Kharkiv region informed that the Russian forces hit a residential neighborhood in Ukraine's second largest city with an Iskander short-range ballistic missile. Taking it to social media, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that this act by the Russians on civilians cannot be justified. While the search operations in the region are underway, a total of 11 people were killed and 40 were left wounded in a series of Russian missile strikes. A spokesperson for the emergency services of Kharkiv said that there could be more people trapped under the rubble. Meanwhile, the Russian Defense Ministry claimed that it targeted a temporary base of foreign mercenaries, killing 90 of them. Agency report, Republic TV.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan arrived in the Ukrainian city of Lviv for talks with President Volodymyr Zelensky and United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. As a potential power broker, Erdogan will use his first visit to Ukraine to seek ways to expand the export of grain from Ukraine, while Guterres will focus on containing the volatile situation at a Russian-occupied nuclear power plant. That's the latest information. Germany will temporarily cut sales tax on natural gas to 7% from 19% in an attempt to ease the burden on households and companies suffering due to surging energy costs. Chancellor Olaf Scholz announced the move on Thursday in a brief statement saying the government expects suppliers to pass the VAT reduction fully on to consumers. Wartime rivals Serbia and Kosovo are holding high-level crisis talks with the hope it will de-escalate growing tensions in the Balkans, where Russia is also trying to increase its influence amid the war in Ukraine. The European Union also has said Serbia and Kosovo need to normalize their ties if they want to join the 27-nation bloc. At least 7 people dead, 16 injured as a Russian missile strikes a dormitory in Kharkiv. According to officials, Russian forces had hit a residential neighborhood in Ukraine's second largest city with an Iskander short-range ballistic missile. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan says the country is descending into a banana republic amid controversy surrounding arrest of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leader Shahbaz Gill, which the PTI chief claims is a conspiracy to target him and his party. A mid-air collision took place between 2 small aircraft in the U.S. state of California, resulting in multiple casualties. The incident took place in the city of Watsonville. After 2 planes attempted to land at the local airport, multiple agencies responded to Watsonville Municipal Airport. After 2 planes attempting to land collided, reports say there are multiple fatalities. An investigation into the incident is currently underway. And coming up in a short while, Russian strike on a dormitory in Kharkiv kills 11, leaving 40 others injured. All the details on World This Morning. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 10th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OPS finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir. कश्मीर घाटी में आम नागरिकों को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है, बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। और
Celebrations happening right in front of the OPS's house.
Now showing you the pictures of this flag march which is right now underway.
Staging protest against Pakistan over the civilian killings in the Kashmir Valley. The raids have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
Coming from West Bengal, where 2 terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
Jagdish Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots, and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leader.
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OPS finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir.
Welcome back. You're watching World This Morning on Republic, and the deployment of MiG warplanes to Russia's westernmost exclave comes amid soaring tensions over the war in Ukraine. Russia asserts that Kyiv has a knack for provocations, criticizes the deliveries of Western weapons to Ukraine. Here's a report.
According to the Russian military, it has deployed warplanes armed with the state-of-the-art hypersonic missiles to the Kaliningrad region. The region is in close proximity to the European Union member states and the NATO assets. The move to the country's westernmost Baltic region comes amid soaring tensions with the West over Moscow's action in Ukraine. According to the Russia's defense ministry, 3 MiG-31 fighters with Kinzhal hypersonic missiles had arrived at the airbase. They further stated that this was a part of the additional measures of the strategic deterrence and will be placed on round-the-clock combat duty. These visuals were released by the Defense Ministry that show the arrival of the fighters at the base but not carrying the missiles. Reportedly, the missiles did come but were apparently delivered separately. Moscow accused the United States and its allies of fueling the conflict and has strongly criticized the deliveries of the Western weapons to Ukraine. A Russian Foreign Ministry representative further asserted that the idea of creating a demilitarized zone around the Zaporizhia is unacceptable.
Киев много раз демонстрировал свою способность устраивать провокации и отсутствие возможности контролировать националистические формирования. По этой же причине неприемлемо предложение о демилитаризованной зоне вокруг Запорожской АЭС. Их реализация сделает станцию еще более уязвимой.
He further added that the IAEA visit is expected soon.
Ожидаем, что в самое ближайшее время состоится поездка на Запорожскую АЭС экспертов МАГАТЭ, которая была полностью согласована еще в июне и сорвана руководством секретариата ООН.
Meanwhile, with Russia promising retaliation, the Kaliningrad becomes a flashpoint in June after Lithuania moved to limit goods transit to the region through its territory. Agency report, Republic TV.
And here's a report of a unique kind of protest. A group of environmental activists released footage of a protest they said they had staged at the Vatican Museum,
where they glued themselves to a famous statue. Take a look.
A group of environmental activists released a footage of a protest at the Vatican Museum where they glued themselves to a famous statue. The activists from the group, called Last Generation, said in a note to the journalists that 2 members of their group glued their hands on the plinth of a Roman statue of Laocoon. This statue is one of the masterpieces of the Vatican Museum collection. The demonstrators did this to protest against the climate change. The activists displayed a banner that read, "Last Generation, no gas, no coal," urging the politicians to listen to the call from the scientific community and act against the climate change. The activists said that the museum staff temporarily closed the section where they had staged their protests before being moved away. The museum, however, did not offer a comment about this action. Agency report, Republic TV.
News now from Pakistan. There's massive flooding in the Karachi region there following weeks of torrential rains, bringing devastation to local villages in the area. As Pakistan is battered by severe rainfall, hundreds of homes have been destroyed and more than 580 people have lost their lives, reportedly.
Flooding in Pakistan's Karachi region following weeks of torrential rain brought devastation to the local villages.
यहाँ पे पानी आया हुआ है, क्या है क्या नहीं है, गरीबों का घर भी डूब गए हैं, कितने घर यहाँ से चले गए, जानवर भी बह गए हैं यहाँ पे, और कोई अभी तक कोई बंदा ऐसा नहीं आया है जो हमसे पूछने के लिए तो यहाँ पे पानी इतना बड़ा आया हुआ है, क्या हुआ है क्या नहीं हुआ है.
The heaviest monsoon in decades have killed over 500 people and affected the lives of more than 1 million. The average rainfall expected over a month has fallen in a matter of hours.
10 साला रिकॉर्ड यहाँ पर टूट गया. काफ़ी तेज़ बहाव पानी का अभी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह थोड़ा कम हो चुका है. तो ये जो आप पुल देख रहे हैं, ये पुल टूट गया. यहाँ पे तकरीबन 30 से 40 गांव हैं जो इस वक्त परेशानी की हालत में यहाँ से गुजर रहे हैं. कोई रास्ता नहीं है, कोई सहूलत नहीं है.
As Pakistan is battered by the severe rains, hundreds of homes have been destroyed and more than 580 people have died. Since July, Pakistan has seen more than 60% of its typical total monsoon rainfall in about 3 weeks, causing heavy downpour, flash floods and landslides to affect an estimated 1 million people. The worst hit provinces include Balochistan and Sindh. As a result of 2 days of non-stop rain in Karachi, which is Pakistan's largest city, at least 1 person has died. In Balochistan, which is the largest and the poorest province of Pakistan, where the flooding has hit the worst than it has in more than 30 years, almost 200 people have died. According to the National Disaster Management Authority, the province saw 305% more rain than the usual for this year. Pakistan's meteorological department has warned of more rain to come over the next few days. Agency report, Republic TV.
And now for some sports news. Paralympic medalist Avni Lekhara bags silver in the R2 women's 10-meter air rifle SH1 event in South Korea. The 20-year-old topped the qualifying round with a score of 626.1 before registering 247.8 in the final to win the silver medal. KL Rahul-led India outplays Zimbabwe in all departments to register a thumping 10-wicket victory at the Harare Sports Club. Taking a 1-0 lead in the 3-match ODI series, the target of 190 was chased in just 30.5 overs, with Shubman Gill remaining unbeaten at 82 of 72 balls, while Shikhar Dhawan scored an unbeaten 81 of 113 balls. Kylian Mbappe is one of 30 players nominated for the 2022 Ballon d'Or, but there is no doubt who he believes should win this year's award. He is reported to have said that his compatriot Karim Benzema just had the season of his life at 34 years of age, and he must win. British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe declares he is interested in buying Manchester United. News comes amid reports that the current owners are considering selling a minority stake in the club. Ratcliffe, who is the owner of Ineos and is a United fan, was unsuccessful in an attempt to buy Chelsea. He is said to want to grow his sporting portfolio as he already owns French Ligue 1 and Swiss
teams. Asia's oldest football tournament, the Durand Cup, is being held in multiple venues in Kolkata, Imphal and Guwahati. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated the Manipur chapter of the 131st Durand Cup at Kuman Lampak Stadium in Imphal. Here's more.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurates the 131st Durand Cup. This is in fact for the first time that the Durand Cup has been hosted in the northeastern city of Manipur. While Rajnath Singh inaugurated the event, Chief Minister Biren Singh was also a part of the event. Fans had come too, that too in large numbers, to witness the event. Energetic performance of the tournament theme song by the star singers Papon and Ruben and Armed Forces Band's display was also a part of the inauguration ceremony. The Defence Minister congratulated to the people of Manipur and calls it a historic day for Manipur.
durand का शुभारंभ मणिपुर की धरती से निश्चित रूप से मैं मानता हूं जो आज हो रहा है वह मणिपुर के लिए आज का दिन एक हिस्टोरिकल डे है, एक ऐतिहासिक दिन है। इस अवसर पर डूरंड कप के सारे आयोजकों को, पार्टिसिपेंट्स को और मणिपुर की जनता को भी मैं अपनी तरफ से हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं। आप सभी को मैं कांग्रेचुलेट करता हूं।
He also congratulated Chief Minister Biren Singh and said that Manipur is developing at a good speed.
चीफ मिनिस्टर बीरेन सिंह चीफ मिनिस्टर के रूप में तेजी से मणिपुर का डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं और डूरंड कप का मणिपुर में आयोजित होना इस बात का प्रमाण है कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट की प्रतिष्ठा, नॉर्थ ईस्ट की प्रेस्टीज सारे हिंदुस्तान में इधर तेजी के साथ बढ़ी है।
Singh even mentions in the event that Biren Singh was also a former winner of Durand Cup.
यहाँ के चीफ मिनिस्टर यंग बीरेन सिंह भी बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स में जब वो थे उसकी तरफ से भी डूरंड कप खेल चुके हैं और केवल खेला ही नहीं है बल्कि टीम को विनर बनाने का काम यंग बीरेन सिंह जी ने किया है जो आज यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं।
He further appreciated how government is now focusing on sports as a whole and not just paying attention to just cricket.
पहले के मुकाबले खेलों पर हमारी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया बहुत ही अधिक ध्यान दे रही है। पहले वर्ल्ड लेवल पर हमारी परफॉर्मेंस जैसी होनी चाहिए नहीं होती थी, लेकिन मणिपुर के बहनों भाइयों आप अच्छी तरह जानते हैं इस समय भारत ने पिछले 6-7 सालों में चाहे वो ओलंपिक हो, चाहे एशियन गेम हो, चाहे कॉमनवेल्थ हो, सब में एक न्यू हाइट, नई ऊंचाइयों को छूने में कामयाबी हासिल की है।
The ceremony then finally got concluded with FIFA theme song and the introduction of dignitaries with the players and their photos with the teams. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
The Indian Air Force has released a breathtaking video which shows the Sukhoi 30 MKI fighter jet being refueled mid-air with tanker aircraft of French Air and Space Force. IAF contingent was en route to the Royal Australian Air Force at Darwin Base when the refueling was required. French Air and Space Force then came to help, providing mid-air refueling support to the Indian Air Force contingent headed to take part in a military exercise. The Indian Air Force shared the video and thanked France. Take a look.
बाकी प्रदेशों में, बाकी यूटीज में रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट के तहत जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं वो यहाँ पे भी अप्लाई होते हैं।
बीजेपी के 25 लाख जो नॉन लोकल्स हैं वोटर्स, उनको यहाँ इंक्लूड किया जाएगा। एंड आई थिंक दिस इज द लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफन ऑफ इलेक्टोरल डेमोक्रेसी है।
घुसपैठिए के रूप में ही गिने जाएंगे। उनको वापस भेजने की बात विदेश मंत्रालय के माध्यम से संबंधित देशों से की जा रही है।
आप केंद्र सरकार का स्पष्ट रुख देश के सामने रखें और दिल्ली सरकार बार बार अपना रुख साफ कर चुकी है। रोहिंग्याओं के किसी भी तरह के प्रवास को दिल्ली सरकार दिल्ली की सुरक्षा के लिए, देश की सुरक्षा के लिए खतरा मानती है।
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OPS finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir. कश्मीर घाटी में आम नागरिकों को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है, बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। और
Celebrations happening right in front of the OPS's house.
Now showing you the pictures of this flag march which is right now underway.
Trump is staging protest against Pakistan over the civilian killings in the Kashmir Valley. The raids have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
Big news coming from West Bengal, where 2 terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
Jagdish Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots, and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leaders is making a deliberate attempt by visiting Golden Temple with the t-shirt of Jagdish Titler to create.
Maharashtra on high alert after rifle-laden boats were found on the beach of Harihareshwar. Security beefed up, investigation underway. Police says terror angle not ruled out as of yet. Mega row over Rohingyas MOS home now writes to Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. Nepotism charge now hits Bihar government. Meesa Bharti's husband attends Tej Pratap meeting. Two planes crash in a mid-air collision in United States, California. Multiple fatalities reported. A very good morning. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Nivedna Prabhu. First up, breaking news coming in. Maharashtra is on high alert following the recovery of 2 rifle-laden boats in Maharashtra's Raigad. Security personnel have been deployed on a beach in Raigad district where 3 AK-47 rifles were seized yesterday. Now, considering this incident happened yesterday, now security has been beefed up and Maharashtra ATS to probe the yacht scare which took place yesterday. Now, this yacht was found in Harihareshwar beach in Maharashtra's Raigad district, where a yacht with 3 AK-47 rifles and ammunition was found. Now, initially, the visual showed the UK registered boat, the Lady Han, in a damaged condition. The 16-meter long yacht with 3 AK-47 rifles was found off the Raigad coast near Mumbai yesterday, propelling police to issue a high alert. Now, Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had said that the terror angle has not been ruled off yet. The 16-meter long yacht was found with 3 AK-47 rifles off the Raigad coast near Mumbai, now propelling the police to issue a high alert. Now, for more on this, we're joined in by Alisha. Alisha, what is the latest development? We do understand right now that Maharashtra is on high alert, but what are the other information that we're gathering about this story right now?
Well, yes, since the time the boat with a rifle that was found in Harihareshwar beach. First, let me show you the visuals of the same boat. Late night evening where National Investigation Agencies officials and the ATS officials were here present. They assessed the situation and left. And what we have been told by our sources that ATS is going to register a case and going to look into the matter. Because yesterday while speaking to the media where Devendra Fadnavis has clearly mentioned that the terror angle at this point of time cannot be ruled out. We know the information, like it was early 7 where the fishermen across the coast has found this suspicious boat, and when they get into the boat there was some of the big box, the black color box that was put in the same boat, after which they reported to the police. Police came to the spot, and this all information has been given to the senior officials. Right after that, because the box was containing 3 AK-47 rifles, which is why the information has been given to the Maharashtra ATS as well. Even we saw yesterday when Maharashtra ATS Chief Vinit Agrawal, who came to the spot, he assessed the entire boat, even look after the rifles. And later the box which was containing rifles, there was a sticker of a Neptune Maritime Security. The time they got some lead of some of a company that is Maritime Security, they contacted them. The statement has been recorded because this port is something UK registered and is been owned by Australian national, and her husband itself is a captain of the boat. Moreover, it was 26th June when the boat capsized while arriving from Muscat to Europe, and the captain was rescued, but the boat could not be towed because of the rough sea is what we've been told. And but the main question raises here, since 2 months no one notices the boat. How come boat all over from the Muscat to Europe, which was left from Muscat to the Europe and has landed here at the Konkan coast? Moreover, Indian Coast Guard has given the information. It is just because of the rough sea and the high tide which is ongoing, which is why the boat has been landed up here. But yet the question that we have been looking after, how come the boat is the main point of question where the ATS is going to look after it, because right after the incident there was a high alert that was put up across the district. There are police officials and even the additional forces has been deployed looking into the security, and even Raigad collector has given instructions to all the people, all the citizens of the Raigad district, asking them if they found anything suspicious, just report it to the police officials or to the district administration. Well, yes, now the case is being looking by the Maharashtra ATS, and soon a case will be registered and we'll get to know whether there is terror angle or not, because yesterday itself where Deputy Chief Minister and Home Minister Devendra Fadnavis has clearly mentioned that terror angle at this point of time cannot be ruled out.
Alisha, on the other hand, what is the Neptune P2P group, reacted on this particular incident? If you could give us more information about that. When contacted to the Neptune Maritime Security Company, where the police official is saying that the rifle that was put in the same boat was for their security purpose, but AK-47 is something raises a really question, and their detailed statement will also be recorded by the police officials as well. But the initial information that we've been provided, and the official statement that has been even given by the police officials, that the boat which
which consists of the same box was for the security of the crew, because it was on 26th June where the boat capsized because of the failure of the engine, where the boat was capsized, and the distress call was made, and the Korean team, the Korean base, the officials who were present, they rescued the crew from the same boat, the boat name which is Lady Han. So they were rescued and they were put up to the Oman. But now in each and every part, in every way, where the investigation is still underway, whether it is Maharashtra Police or whether it is Maharashtra ATS.
All right, Alisha, thank you so much for joining us with the latest on this story. We at Republic will continue to be tracking this. This is the latest on the situation in Raigad, and as of now, Maharashtra is on high alert. But moving on to other news, Republic Media Network is the first network to report from the AK-47 boat that was found in Maharashtra's Raigad district. Top security agents have been roped in for the investigation, and the Maharashtra ATS is also set to register a case as the terror angle remains a focus of the investigation. Take a look.
This boat that was witnessed by a fisherman here, and they have informed the same about the police because there was a black spot that was recovered from the same ship. Let me first show you the visuals of the same location, because we have been reporting from Harihareshwar beach, where the boat was found early in the morning at 7 by the fishermen. The time they went to the boat, they found a black box, after which they informed the local police here. The local police reached here. They took out the box, and we can even saw there was a sticker that was labeled in the same box, which named as a Neptune Maritime Security. Even the state agencies has contacted the same agency, and the information that has been provided from State Home Ministry, which clearly mentioned that the information received so far, the name of the said boat is a Lady Han, and it's owned by a woman, an Australian citizen. Her husband is the captain of the said boat. This boat was going to Europe from Muscat on dated 26th June at around 10 a.m. in the morning. The boat engine failed and the sailor called for help. The Korean warship rescued the sailor from the boat and handed over to Oman. The boat Lady Han could not be towed as the sea was rough. The information received from the Indian Coast Guard is the boat is stranded on the Harihareshwar coast due to the undercurrent of the sea. Both the local police and anti-terrorist squad are investigating this incident.
बोट बहुत पानी में थी. हम लोग डर गए कि कैसा जाने का उसके अंदर. पहला डर था कि उसमें कुछ टेररिस्ट है, कोई कुछ पता नहीं था. तब भी हमने डेयरिंग करके बोट में अंदर जाके इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया, तो उसमें हमें को एक ब्लैक कलर का जो बॉक्स था वो पहले दिखाई दिया. तो हम बोला कि क्या बहुत कुछ गड़बड़ लग रही है. तो उसके वजह पुलिस थे, तो निकल के पुलिस के ताबे में दे दिया. लेकिन खोलने के बाद उसमें 3 गन निकला, बुलेट्स निकला, और तो बाकी और कुछ सामान निकला है. ये सब निकल के पुलिस के हवाले दिया, और उसका जो बोट का डॉक्यूमेंट्स है वो भी उनके हवाले कर दिए है सब.
Question rises here. It's been 2 months where the boat was capsized, and right after the 2 months it's reached to the Harihareshwar beach in Raigad. So how come no one has the information about it? This is the line of investigation of the Maharashtra ATS, where the case is going to be registered and many more are going to be called, because the owner of the boat has been contacted. From the security from the box which was recovered from the Neptune from Maritime Security, their owners has been contacted. The statement soon will be recorded, and the investigation is not only going to be conducted by the Maharashtra Police but also from the Maharashtra Anti-Terrorist Squad. In Raigad with video journalist Mukur, this is Alisha Nair for Republic TV.
Moving on, after Siddaramaiah faced backlash for backing Tipu and was welcomed with Savarkar posters yesterday, Karnataka Chief Minister has now come to Siddaramaiah's defence, saying Siddaramaiah is the leader of the opposition and the position of leader of the opposition carries its own dignity. If there is a difference of opinion on any matter, it should be countered with strong opinions, not by any physical action. Everyone should follow this. Now, this is the breaking that we have coming on this developing story. We've been seeing a lot of things happening in terms of the Tipu and the Savarkar posters in Karnataka. Now, Bommai has defended Siddaramaiah. Very interesting development there. We did see initially a lot of things were happening in terms of BJP leaders with Bommai, but this time around it's Bommai defending Siddaramaiah in the particular episode of the Savarkar and Tipu Sultan posters. Now, after, of course, Siddaramaiah faced backlash, we did see that yesterday he was get out with those black flags. But the Karnataka Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai has now come to Siddaramaiah's defense, saying Siddaramaiah is the leader of the opposition and the position of the leader of opposition carries its own dignity. If there is a difference of opinion on any matter, it should be countered with strong opinions, not by any physical action. Everyone should follow this. This is exactly what Baswaraj Bommai has said. And he's come to the defense. Although on the other hand, you can see that Siddaramaiah was facing backlash for his comment that he initially made about the poster, stating that why Savarkar's poster was put up first in a Muslim community, which did not go down too well with a large section of people. But on the other hand, now in the latest twist is that Karnataka Chief Minister Bommai is seen defending Siddaramaiah. Now, this is with the fact that the Savarkar poster face-off explodes. This is, of course, the latest coming out from Karnataka. An interesting, twist with the Savarkar and Tipu Sultan posters, or rather in terms of the episode that happened there, where we saw this happening in Karnataka. Now, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Baswaraj Bommai, has come to Siddaramaiah's defense. Now, we'll have to wait and watch if Siddaramaiah is going to be giving a reaction regarding this. Moving on, in the latest update of the Uttar Pradesh terror case, a third suspect has been arrested by the Uttar Pradesh anti-terror squad, who is now taken in custody. Further, big evidences in the case has been accessed by Republic. Take a look.
Massive terror module was busted a few days ago by the Uttar Pradesh police. It started with one arrest, followed up with multiple arrests that were taking place. What turns out in the investigation that has been carried out by the UP ATS was that incriminating evidence. We're given to understand that they were in touch with their handlers in Pakistan as well as Afghanistan.
On August 12, the Uttar Pradesh police had arrested a JEM terrorist identified as Nadeem from Saharanpur. And just 2 days later, an alleged associate named by Nadeem, Saifullah, was arrested in the same case. Uttar Pradesh ADG Law and Order confirmed shortly after the arrest that Saifullah was involved in forging IDs reportedly to be used for terror activities. After his interrogation, it was also learned that the JEM associate was involved in such activities for over 5 years, including youth radicalization and making fake IDs. Saifullah named 8 more people who are now under the ATS radar.
कहीं ना कहीं गजवा हिंद को लागू करवाने की कोशिश करना चाहते थे। ये भी उन्होंने बताया कि वो हिंदुस्तानियों को काफिर मानते थे, जो भी लोग इस धर्म को मानने वाले उसको काफिर भी मानते। तो ये तमाम ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो उन्होंने अपनी पूछताछ में बताई हैं। ATS के सूत्रों ने हमें ये सारी जानकारियाँ दी हैं।
Both Saifullah and Nadeem are currently in 14-day custody of the UP ATS. And now the police have made the third arrest in the case. Sabauddin was arrested from Azamgarh and has been taken under a 12-day ATS remand. Not only this, a 70-page document was found with Nadeem and Saifullah, which has been accessed by Republic according to sources. This document pertains to suspicious courses sent by Jaish-e-Mohammed and involves Fidaian attack, how to make and use explosives, and lone wolf attack, etc. And as the terror case unfolds further, shocking details are yet to come to the fore. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
The other national stories that we're tracking at this hour, a sessions court in Kolkata sent former West Bengal minister and sacked Trinamool Congress leader Partha Chatterjee and his close associate Arpita Mukherjee to judicial custody till August 31st in connection with the Bengal cash scam. Calcutta High Court ordered Anubrata Mondal's daughter Sukanya Mondal to produce her TET certificate before the court. It also asked her for her mark sheet in this regard for all further hearings to take place. The next date for hearing has been fixed for September 1st. The Vietnam-India bilateral army exercise Winbacks 2022 concluded at Chandi Mandir with an impressive display of multi-agency humanitarian assistance in disaster relief demonstration and an equipment display showcasing the Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat initiatives. The exercise had commenced on 1st August and was focused on deployment of army, engineer and medical teams in UN peacekeeping operations. The BJP took out rallies in various parts of West Bengal protesting corruption in the state and asserted that the day is not far when the top brass of the TMC will be behind the bars. Leading a protest march in Bolpur and Birbhum district, BJP state president Sukanda Majumdar alleged that the corrupt TMC government has looted the state to fill its coffers. After the unbelievable release of the 11 convicts in the horrific gang rape of Bilkis Bano and the murder of 14 of her family members during the 2002 Gujarat riots, speaking to Republic's Bano's husband, Yaqub Rasool expressed his complete dejection and horror over their remission. We have some breaking news coming in, this time from Punjab. An 18-year-old basketball player fell off stadium roof in Punjab's Moga. Now, the victim suffered multiple fractures in her jaw, hands and legs. Now, the incident took place on August 11th and did not come to light initially as it appeared to be a suicide attempt. Now, this is the big breaking at this moment. Now, the father alleges rape. The police have registered a case. Recently, the victim's father came forward and filed a complaint with the police claiming rape. Now, the police have registered the case against 3 sections under 307 and 376 of the IPC. For more on the story, we're joined in by Amandeep. Amandeep, an absolute shocker and an unfortunate incident, but what are the other details that we're gathering at this moment?
Well, absolutely. This is a very shocking incident, and in fact, this reported from Punjab's Moga when a basketball player, in fact, 18-year-old girl, went to the stadium for the practice, and in fact, after that, by the late evening, during the rape bit, she jumped from the rooftop of the stadium to save herself, and in fact, she suffered from the multiple injuries. Initially, it seems to be like that it was a suicide attempt, and even the onlookers have shifted the girl to the hospital immediately. Girl was suffering from multiple injuries, legs, hands, and even the jaws. That is the reason the police is not able to record her statement. And in fact, later on, recently, his father came forward and registered a complaint mentioning a rape as well as attempt to murder. So both the sections have been imposed. Now the case has been registered against 3 persons under section 307, that is attempt to murder, and section 376, that is rape of IPC. And even the police is yet to record the statement just because the victim was unable to speak so far. The doctors have not given the clearance for recording the statements. And once the statement will be recorded, the name of the accused will come forward. Accordingly, police will take action. But this is a very shocking incident when 18-year-old girl basketball player was not safe while doing practice in the evening as well. And in fact, initially when the people...
Amandeep, just a second. We have Brinda Adige with us, activist joining us. Brinda, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, this is an absolute unfortunate and shocking incident coming in. What is your, reaction about it?
See, we know that sports persons in our country have not got too much of respect, or for that matter, they have not been taken seriously. We do not know what this girl has gone through, because you say that she is a basketball player. Now, what has she gone through, we do not know, and nobody would be able to speak with her, or the ones who spoke may not have been considerate of her. For her to have taken such a serious step, such an unfortunate step, just goes to show that she would have been put through a lot of mental trauma, and she would not have got any support from the people who are probably there saying that they are supporting her. What about her coach? What about her other fellow companions who are part of the team? Did they not know about everything that this girl is going through? And rape by whom? Because rape often, 85% of the time, rape happens by the person known to the victim survivor. And that means somebody very close to her, somebody known to her. And that is the sad part. Why would she not want to make a complaint? Why is it that she was not confident that she would be trusted and believed when she comes forward to make a complaint? So we have to take the blame as system and as a society. We must take the blame. But I just hope that this girl comes out and makes her statement and the perpetrators are punished. Look at the way our courts function. The perpetrators, 85 to 90% of the time, get away. Get away simply because there is some procedural evidence that is not being produced. While the law says that she can be believed on her testimony and the judge can give a judgment, we still follow through with procedures. I'm appalled. I'm so upset that she took such a step when she had such a bright future before her. I hope she wakes up and she's able to give her statement. And it is important that the police and everybody else around her gives her that confidence.
Right. Thank you, Brinda, for giving us your input about this. Well, right, Brinda Andige, the activist, just did tell us that what is important is that, number one, the victim hopefully feels better in time and she's able to come out and, talk about the incident. But however, the perpetrator needs to be caught because that is the situation wherein you don't want them to get away with it. Now, this is, of course, a shocker coming in from Punjab's Moga, where an 18-year-old basketball player fell off the stadium roof in Punjab's Moga. And we also, let's listen into some information coming about the story.
ਪਰਚਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੜਕੀ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੜਕੀ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮਿਤੀ 12/8 ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਲੜਕੀ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਦੋਸਤ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਤਨ ਖੰਡਾ ਨਾਮ ਦਾ, ਉਸਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਲੜਕੀ ਨੂੰ ਗੋਦੇਰਾ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ। ਨਾਲ ਉਹਦੇ ਦੋ ਨਾਮਲੂਮ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਸੀ, ਮੋਟਰਸਾਈਕਲ 'ਤੇ ਸਵਾਰ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਆਏ ਜੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਧੱਕਾ ਮੁੱਕੀ ਹੋਈ, ਲੜਕੀ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਬਰਦਸਤੀ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਅਤੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਰਜਿਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੋਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਧੱਕਾ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਟੇਡੀਅਮ ਤੋਂ ਨੀਚੇ ਸੁੱਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜੀ। ਲੜਕੀ ਦੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਸੱਟਾਂ ਵੱਜੀਆਂ ਜੀ। ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ DMC ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਾਖਲ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
ਕਿੰਨਾ ਦੀ ਘਟਨਾ
ਇਹ 12/8 ਦੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਘਟਨਾ।
ਸਰ ਪਰਚਾ ਇੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਿਆ?
ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ, 12/8 ਦੀ ਇਹ ਘਟਨਾ 13/8 ਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੇਟ ਨਾਈਟ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ। ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਲੀ ਸੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਜੀ। ਦੈਨ ਅਸੀਂ 14/8 ਨੂੰ DMC ਗਏ ਜੀ। 14/8 ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ DMC ਗਏ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੜਕੀ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਜੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਮੌਕੇ 'ਤੇ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਘਟਨਾ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮੇਰੀ ਲੜਕੀ ਬੈਟਰ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਆਪਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਲੜਕੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਅਨਫਿਟ ਆ, ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੀ। ਆਪਾਂ 15 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੀ, ਲੜਕੀ ਅਨਫਿਟ ਆਈ। ਦੈਨ 16 ਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਟੈਲੀਫੋਨ 'ਤੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਲੜਕੀ ਨਾਲ ਸੈਕਸ਼ੂਅਲ ਅਸਾਲਟ ਹੋਇਆ। ਦੈਨ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟਲੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਏ। ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟਲੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਸਟੇਟਮੈਂਟ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ FIR ਲੌਂਚ ਕਰਤੀ।
Well, the breaking is that the 18-year-old avoids rape bit and falls off the roof, and she has suffered multiple injuries. She's not in a state to be speaking at the moment. We also did get Brinda Adige's reaction about the same, stating that hopefully the victim does feel better, but on the other hand, that it is important for the perpetrator to be caught. Now, she fell off the stadium roof to avoid rape. This comes out of Punjab's Moga. This shocking incident, unfortunate that the 18-year-old basketball player fell off the stadium roof in Punjab's Moga. She suffered multiple fractures in her jaw, hands and legs. Now, the incident took place on August 12th and it did not come to light initially as it appeared to be a suicide attempt. But the victim's father came forward and filed a complaint with the police claiming rape. Now, the police have registered the case under section 307 and 376 of the IPC. Now, the 18-year-old basketball player fell off the stadium roof in Punjab's Moga. This was in an unfortunate incident in a bid to avoid rape. Now, the victim, unfortunately, is not in a situation to be recording her statement. This is the breaking that's coming in from Punjab's Moga, the big unfortunate situation. Now, the athlete was injured in this process. The 18-year-old basketball suffered multiple fractures. On the other side, mega row over Rohingyas. MOS home now writes to Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. Nepotism charge now hits Bihar government. Misa Bharti's husband attends Tej Pratap meeting. All of this on the other side. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 10th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education, whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. The decision of the Gujarat government to free Bilkis Bano's rapists is not just morally and ethically wrong, it mutilates the very concept of justice. And I'm shocked that in a country that came together to fight for Nirbhaya 10 years back, there is pin-drop silence from so many. I'm horrified also that political parties with one eye on the Gujarat elections are not ready to speak out openly on it, especially not in Gujarat. The images of Bilkis Bano's rapists being garlanded and greeted and honored. Look at those pictures, viewers. And given sweets outside the jail in Godhra, as if the act of rape and murder is something that we should celebrate. These pictures are as reprehensible as the images of former minister and BJP leader Jayant Sinha garlanding lynchers in Jharkhand a few years back. Any form of appeasement is bad. So speak up, viewers. Appeasing lynchers is bad. Appeasing rapists and murderers and killers of a 3-year-old child is unacceptable. The 11 accused of raping Bilkis are also responsible for killing her young daughter. And they need to be made to feel responsible for life, for what they did. As a society, as a nation, and as a people, we cannot call the rapists men of good character, good sanskar, like the BJP MLA who was part of the committee that signed the release order has done. Are we going to be quiet about it? Viewers, as a nation, we are at the crossroads. We need to take a position not on the basis of short-term political convenience, but on the fundamental basis of what is right and what is wrong. And to make convicted rapists and murderers heroes just out of hate or spite is wrong, and it is not acceptable.
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OPS finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir.
Here on the live coverage on Republic TV as we report from outside Raj Thakre's residence. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra vacates his residence. Sena supporters coming out in large numbers showing their support to Uddhav Thackeray. The NCP huddle has begun. We're keeping a close track on all the senior leaders coming in and going out.
Well, the breaking news that we have at this moment, Lalu Yadav's son-in-law and Meesa Bharati's husband, Shailesh Kumar, today attended an official government meeting convened by Tej Pratap Yadav, who is the Minister for Environment and Forest. The meeting was convened in Pollution Control Board's office in Patna in order to address the problems of pollution in Bihar. Now, the meeting was chaired by Tej Pratap Yadav and was attended by senior officers, including Principal Secretary Forest Arvind Chaudhary. But surprisingly, Shailesh Kumar was present in the entire meeting, despite the fact that he doesn't hold any official position. Now, this is the breaking that we have coming at the moment. Seems like a case of abuse of power. Now, Lalu Yadav's son-in-law and Meesa Bharati's husband, Shailesh Kumar, today attended an official government meeting convened by Tej Pratap Yadav, who is the Minister for Environment and Forest.
RJD is basically a family-based political party. Here, all the politics of caste, religious appeasement and drama over the ideology is just to safeguard the interest of family. That is why when Tej Pratap Yadav takes with him his brother-in-law Shailesh ji to department meetings, it is obvious. It is an opportunity for the RJD people, RJD family, and they want to utilize it in their own way. So I have just tweeted with a sense of appreciation that nobody should take Tej Pratap lightly, as Shailesh ji is sitting beside him. And who is Shailesh? Shailesh is not only brother-in-law of Tej Pratap Yadav, but he is the most knowledgeable, talented and understanding person than all the ministers of RJD quota. And if Shailesh continues to bless Tej Pratap, he will surely prove to be the best minister of Nitish cabinet. So it was just a simple tweet with sense of appreciation for Shailesh ji. I know that it is wrong and nobody from the family, kin and other members should follow the minister in official meetings. Obviously, the question has been raised and Tej Pratap and RJD family must give reply to it.
Now, it seems like there is a situation of power of abuse in Bihar, but for telling us more on this story, we're joined in by Prakash. Prakash, we also did see this reaction coming in from the BJP as well, but what are the other developments here?
Well, as far as Tej Pratap Yadav is concerned, he was holding an official meeting of the Pollution Control Board in order to check pollution in Bihar. And we could see in the visuals as well as there are several photographs in which his brother-in-law and husband of Rajya Sabha MP, Meesa Bharati, Shailesh Kumar, could be seen sitting in the meeting in presence of all the senior officials and the Principal Secretary of Forest Department. Now the question is, in what capacity was Shailesh Kumar sitting in that meeting? He is not holding any official position as far as the Forest Department is concerned. So it is appalling that Tej Pratap allowed Shailesh Kumar to be present in that meeting, and certainly it's a violation of rules and regulations as well as the government code of conduct, because in an official meeting, officials as well as the ministers are privy to certain guidelines of the government, certain policy decisions of the government, and any outsiders are not allowed to sit in that meeting. So we violated a basic protocol, and more so, it seems like a family fiefdom that anybody can be allowed to sit in any meeting. So it is.
Well, the breaking that we have coming in at this moment, this time around, it is about Manish Sisodia's reaction. where he has said that CBI has come. He is welcome. In Hindi, he has tweeted saying, CBI आई है, उनका स्वागत है, हम कट्टर ईमानदार है, लाखों बच्चों का भविष्य बना रहे हैं, which of course translated says CBI has come, they're welcome, we're extremely honest, making the future of millions of children. And he's also stated that it is very unfortunate that those who do good work in our country are harassed like this. Now, for more information on this particular story, the big breaking, we're joined in by Anuj. Anuj, we've seen this reaction coming in from Manish Sisodia. What are we learning about this? And if you could just help our viewers understand it.
Well, this is Manish Sisodia who is making it clear that yes, the CBI is there, but we will have to see in what case this is happening, because earlier this was related to the excise policy also, what we have been told, when it was under the radar. But we will have to wait for the official confirmation of the same, what exactly is happening, and if we talk about this particular investigation, that what exactly will be the part of investigation when we are talking about at this point in time. But Manish Sisodia, they are now coming out again that welcoming CBI, talking in the same direction in which we have seen earlier also the Aam Aadmi Party, if we talk about. We have seen how the Enforcement Directorate has taken action against Sateen Jain, and now this is Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Aam Aadmi Party, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, and including other portfolios also which have been held by Manish Sisodia, leader of Aam Aadmi Party, at whose residence this is CBI. And we will have to wait and make it more clear that what exactly this case is all about. And if we talk about this investigation, if we talk about this particular movement of the CBI, we will have to see, we will have to wait. We are just getting the confirmation. We are in touch with some of the officials, so we are just trying to get the confirmation what exactly this is all about. But yes, this is going to be more trouble for the Aam Aadmi Party. As we are talking, we don't know what happened when Sateen Jain, the minister of Aam Aadmi Party, the former minister rather we should say now, is already under the radar, is already under the judicial custody. Whereas this is another minister and the senior leader of Aam Aadmi Party, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, where CBI team is at his residence. And this is something which has been made it clear by Manish Sisodia himself. So this is going to be big, and we are waiting for the response, what Aam Aadmi Party is going to take. But yes, the stand is obviously going to be very clear, because the line taken is already...
We'll also get Abhishek Kapoor to react on this and give us more information. Abhishek, we also understand that Manish has tweeted saying this. His reaction has been that these people are troubled by the excellent work of Delhi's education and health, and he's also stated that there are false allegations against the both of them, and the truth will come out in court. But what more can you tell us about this?
Well, just about 20 days back, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, V.K. Saxena, had ordered a CBI inquiry in the excise policy change case. Remember, the excise policy of the Delhi government was tweaked without due process sometime in 2020, while the stated objective was that this is aimed at increasing revenue. But it so transpired that it actually benefited just a few vendors and in fact led to some revenue loss as well. So I think, and Manish Sisodia was in charge of the department. He is still in charge of the department, and when they realized that this might get caught, some second tweak of the policy happened. So I think after a report by the Chief Secretary, the Lieutenant Governor ordered an inquiry. And this is in connection with that, the CBI raids or searches that are going on. And these are in fact on at over 20 places. You can connect with Shawan. He's getting all the details on that. But what is important is that CBI has started its investigation. And Manish Sisodia tweeting there saying that CBI is welcome, but he's extremely honest. And then, of course, the political spin that this is being done so that the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi does not focus on good schools and other good governance issues. But remember, the CBI search is in connection with the investigation which was ordered by the Lieutenant Governor and with due sanction of the Ministry of Home Affairs. So I think there are two things parallelly happening. But these CBI raids are on not just at the residence of Manish Sisodia. They are around NCR. Manish Sisodia's residence happens to be one of them in connection with the excise policy change.
We also have Shavan Sen joining us. Shavan, we are understanding that this reaction is coming from Manish Sisodia, but what more can you tell us regarding this tweet and the fact that he has said that the CBI is welcome, but it's also, stirring away from the attention of what they can do, and he's also gone on to state that the truth will come out and the allegations put against them is absolutely false.
Well, in fact, what we can confirm at this point in time is that the searches are not only being carried out at the Deputy Chief Minister's residence. In fact, we are now getting a confirmation from top sources within the agency that the searches are being carried out at 20 locations in the Delhi NCR region. This is pertaining to the excise policy which came under the scanner. This is after the LG had basically ordered a CBI investigation into the matter. In fact, we can also confirm right now that the searches are being carried out following an FIR that has been registered by the Central Bureau of Investigation. In fact, what has basically come under the scanner is the very liquor regime that was basically started by the Aam Aadmi Party back in 2021 by basically what the party had claimed that this was an attempt that was being made. The policy was drafted keeping in mind to clean up certain malpractices and improve the experience of individuals while buying the liquor. Now, in its policy document, they had claimed that revenue in Delhi was suboptimal and that there is significant potential for revenue augmentation, providing a decent standard of customer experience. Now, that is the reason why they came up with what they called the Excise Policy 2021-2022, which went into effect starting from 17th of November. Now, that had a long list in this entire process. Now, wherein lies the problem? The allegation essentially being that whether at all there has been quid pro quo at a top level. The CBI inquiry was basically recommended based on what the Delhi Chief Secretary's report had essentially indicated, saying that there is prima facie violations of the GNCPD Act of 1991, Transaction of Business Rules of 1993, the Delhi Excise Act of 2009, and the Delhi Excise Rules of 2010. Now, in fact, the LG went on to say that there was substantive evidence of financial quid pro quo at the top political level. And I'm quoting as to what the LG had essentially said, whereas taking a dig at some of the Aam Aadmi Party officials. In fact, they also went on to say that the excise policy, the excise minister took and got executed major decisions in violation of the statutory provisions and notified the excise policy, which had huge financial implications. Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is the one who's been heading the excise department of the Delhi government, and they are also saying that there was a deliberate and gross procedural lapses to provide post-tender undue benefits to the liquor licenses. Now, this I'm quoting from what the LG essentially had to say based on the Chief Secretary's report. And the allegation also was leveled that the department had essentially given a waiver of roughly about 144 crore rupees to the licensees of the tendered license fee under the excuse of COVID-19 pandemic. And it also refunded about 30 crore rupees to the lowest bidder of the license of airport zone. So all in all, what turns out is that they're saying there have been lapses in awarding license for the liquor vendors. All of this was basically reported by the Chief Secretary and also accusing that the department has made windfall profits by doing so. On the other hand, the Aam Aadmi Party has basically hit out. In fact, none other than the Chief Minister himself, Arvind Kejriwal, has said that the entire case is absolutely false and it's baseless. There is absolutely no truth to any sort of allegations. And he also backed the way they have essentially backed the other minister in the case of Satendra Jain. Satendra Jain too was backed by the Aam Aadmi Party. In this particular case also, in fact, what we are given to understand is that the Delhi Chief Minister about a few weeks ago did actually hold a press conference in which he said that there is information to the effect that in the days to come, CBI could arrest Manish Sisodia. And he also leveled this allegation that a false case was basically being crafted by the Central Bureau of Investigation so that Manish Sisodia could have been arrested. As we speak right now, in fact, we are now being told that the searches are basically underway, 20 locations, one basically which also includes Manish Sisodia's residence.
All right, Shravan Sen, our senior editor, joining us with all this information. But right now, we have our reporter Anuj joining us from outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Anuj, take us through what exactly is happening there right now.
Well, at this point in time, we are getting you the visual. These are the live images coming in from the Deputy Chief Minister's residence. That's Manish Sisodia, where Manish Sisodia himself making it clear that yes, the CBI team is here. And as we do know that now the action has been taken. When we are talking about the excise policy, which was renewed by the Delhi government, and there we have seen the different press conferences which was done by the Aam Aadmi Party, and there we have seen the political ramification of the same earlier, where Bharatiya Janata Party also attacked Aam Aadmi Party on the same. But now the action has been taken, where we are seeing that CBI is in action. CBI at this point in time is making multiple searches at the multiple location, and this is the main residence. That's AB 17 Mathura Road, from where I am reporting at this point in time. And this is the residence of Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, who is inside at this point in time. And yes, the CBI team is also inside. I'll show you some of the car. There you can see first. There you can see the CBI. That's making it clear. We are making it clear in the visuals. That's the officer of the CBI wearing a CBI jacket and half jacket on which CBI is written. So there it is making itself clear, where Manish Sisodia has made it clear by tweeting the same. And there we are giving you the visual. These are the live images from Manish Sisodia's residence. That's the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi and Aam Aadmi Party leader, where we have seen it earlier how the allegations were made in by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this was alleged rather that there are fraudulently, there are money transactions, or there are benefits rather we should say, which has been given to the people. That is something what was alleged by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and there CBI has taken the action. Now CBI could be clearly seen in action. We are giving you the live images. These are the officials of the CBI wearing the cap of CBI, the jacket of CBI, making it clear about the CBI team. So these are the first images, live images from Manish Sisodia's residence. If we talk about this particular allegation, and if we talk about what has been alleged, is yes, there are benefits which has been given to the certain peoples or certain groups, where the excise policy of national capital was changed. And now these are the live images coming in from the Manish Sisodia's residence. The Lieutenant Governor moves follow a report submitted by the Delhi Chief Secretary Naresh Kumar on the matter. We do know that, and the report, which was official said, was submitted on 8th of July, which accused Sisodia of providing undue benefits to the liquor vendors license in lieu of kickbacks and commissions. And that's the money being used in the recent Punjab election. That is something what has been alleged. So that is something what we do know. That is something what we are seeing. If you talk about the action of CBI, then yes, it could be clearly seen from the residence of Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. That's Manish Sisodia, from where I'm reporting at this point in time. And there the CBI officials could be clearly seen in the images wearing the CBI jacket, the CBI cap, and some of the car are parked outside. Some of the car are there. I can see the white Innovas in which CBI team has arrived. That's the vehicle from where I'm reporting, and this is AB 17, the residence of Manish Sisodia, the residence of Manish Sisodia. And Arvind Kejriwal there has made in a tweet. Arvind Kejriwal also coming out with the same line as we were expecting, and this is at the 20 places in and around NCR, which the properties which belongs to Manish Sisodia is being searched. That's something what we have been told. This is not limited to one place where I am reporting from, but this is almost around 20 places where CBI is conducting the raids. 20 places in and around NCR where these searches are being made in by the CBI. So early in the morning, this is CBI who is in action. We are reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence. That's the Deputy Chief Minister's residence at the Mathura Road. But this is to understand what exactly has happened now. This is about the excise policy, where this has been stated that the benefits has been given to certain groups, the benefits has been given to certain people, where the excise policy of the Delhi was changed. And we have seen, and I was pointing it out earlier also, we have seen it how the political reactions on the same came out when we have seen Bharatiya Janata Party alleging the same, and there Manish Sisodia himself and the Aam Aadmi Party was giving the clarification, coming out with the press conferences. But this is CBI which is in action now. We are reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence. Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi is under the radar, and this is big when we are making it clear, and what we have been told through our sources, that this is not limited to one place, but this is 20 places, 20 premises related to Manish Sisodia, connected to Manish Sisodia, which is under the radar. That is being searched. Live images from Manish Sisodia's residence, continuously reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence, and this is something what we have been told, that Manish Sisodia property or the premises in and around NCR, 20 premises, 20 location is under the radar, 20 location is being searched. We are reporting live. I'll ask my video journalist to give you a sense of this residence. I'll give you the sense of the vehicles of the CBI teams. What I've been told, I can see one Innova car and two Innova car over there, which is parked. What I've been told, that the CBI teams arrived there. That's the nameplate of Manish Sisodia's Deputy Chief Minister residence, AB17 Mathura Road, from where I'm reporting, and the CBI team is in action since from the morning, but it's not limited to one place. What I've been told, Arvind Kejriwal, they're coming out with a tweet. Manish Sisodia making it clear. First, Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, came out with a tweet, and he made it clear that yes, CBI team has arrived. CBI team is making searches on the multiple location. What I've been told, this is around 20 location which is under the radar of CBI. Since from the very morning, I'm reporting from this Mathura Road residence, that's AB17, Manish Sisodia's residence, and from where I'm reporting, we have given you the live images, the live visuals of the CBI officials from inside, and there are CBI officials who are inside at this point in time reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence. We do understand this is about the excise policy. This is about the excise policy, and we are continuously reporting live from the Manish Sisodia's residence. So this is going to be more trouble for Aam Aadmi Party. CBI in action since from the very morning. Reporting live on the story. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Coming from West Bengal, where two terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
Jagdish Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots, and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leaders is making a deliberate attempt by visiting Golden Temple with the t-shirt of Jagdish Titler to create the communal tension in Punjab.
जगदीश टाइटलर की टी-शर्ट डाल के वो गोल्डन टेम्पल में जाते हैं करमजीत सिंह गिल, क्या वो कांग्रेस के लीडर हैं या नहीं है?
मैं ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को जानता नहीं हूं भैया कि वो किसी पद पे हैं या नहीं है, लेकिन जो मेरे को बताया गया एससी विंग ने कि वो हमारे किसी पद पे नहीं। मैं कह रहा हूं उसके ऊपर पर्चा देके एसजीपीसी अंदर दे दें, हमें क्या मतलब है उससे?
बाकी प्रदेशों में, बाकी यूटीज में रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट के तहत जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं वो यहाँ पे भी अप्लाई होते हैं।
बीजेपी के 25 लाख जो नॉन लोकल्स हैं वोटर्स, उनको यहाँ इंक्लूड किया जाएगा, एंड आई थिंक दिस इज द लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफन ऑफ इलेक्टोरल डेमोक्रेसी है।
घुसपैठिए के रूप में ही गिने जाएंगे। उनको वापस भेजने की बात विदेश मंत्रालय के माध्यम से संबंधित देशों से की जा रही है।
आप केंद्र सरकार का स्पष्ट रुख देश के सामने रखें, और दिल्ली सरकार बार बार अपना रुख साफ कर चुकी है। रोहिंग्याओं के किसी भी तरह के प्रवास को दिल्ली सरकार दिल्ली की सुरक्षा के लिए, देश की सुरक्षा के लिए खतरा मानती है।
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OP is finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir. कश्मीर घाटी में आम नागरिकों को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है। बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा और
Celebrations happening right in front of the OPS's house.
Now showing you the pictures of this flag march which is right now underway.
is staging protest against Pakistan over the civilian killings in the Kashmir Valley. The raids have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
Coming from West Bengal, where 2 terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leaders is making a deliberate attempt by visiting Golden Temple with the t-shirt of Jagdish Titler to create the communal tension in Punjab. Jagdish Titler.
Tracking the big story this morning, the CBI raids which are underway in at least 20 locations in and around NCR, we are told. The searches that are also being held at Manish Sisodia's residence. In fact, Anuj is reporting live from outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Now, this is in connection with Delhi's excise policy decision. If I can go across to Anuj. Anuj, take it away. Take us through all the leads that you're picking up. The CBI officials that who are there at Manish Sisodia's residence right now.
Well, exactly. CBI officials are there at the Manish Sisodia residence. We are reporting from the AB 17 Mathura Road residence of Deputy Chief Minister, that's Manish Sisodia, where CBI officials are there inside. We have given you the visuals, the live images from the residence of Manish Sisodia, and there I can see some of the officials. There I can see some of the officials wearing CBI jacket, CBI cap. And this is none other but Manish Sisodia himself who made it clear by tweeting the same that CBI officials are here. What we have been told that this is around at the 20 places, 20 premises which is related to somewhat connected to Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. There, the CBI officials from the very morning could be clearly seen in action where they are raiding or searching the premises, and this is related to the excise policy. This is related to the excise policy, what I have been told. And let me remind you, we have seen it earlier how this was alleged by the Bharatiya Janata Party also. On the other hand, the CBI was also taking the note of the same. Rather, Manish Sisodia was also seen vocal about the things that what exactly has happened, or rather he was saying that these are fraud allegation, or rather they have not done anything, the excise policy, and continuously talking about the education system of the Delhi. And there in the tweet which has been made in early in the morning by Manish Sisodia, there he is again speaking about the same, about the education system. But on the other hand, if you talk about the latest, then yes, these are the live images which is coming in from the Manish Sisodia residence. This is related to the excise policy which was changed by the Delhi government, the excise policy which was changed in November last year. And there we are getting you the visual. This is around at the 20 places what we have been told, the multiple searches by the CBI team. And what I've been told, rather we are waiting for more clarity and update on the same, but I've been told that the case has been registered by CBI. The case has been registered by CBI, but we are waiting for the official confirmation of on the same. And this is related to the excise policy, yes, where we have seen Manish Sisodia being vocal and different allegations that was made in by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and CBI itself was taking the note of the situation, what exactly has happened. And there it was again and again stated what exactly has happened. If we talk about this excise policy, then this has been stated that there were certain group or certain people who has got benefit by this excise policies, and this was alleged by Bharatiya Janata Party also that there were some people, some groups which has been given privileges, or rather who has got benefit after this excise policy came in action last year in November. But this is going to be big because Arvind Kejriwal now coming out with a tweet and Manish Sisodia himself coming out with a tweet. Again, the line taken is very much similar what we have seen earlier also, that this is a political vendetta, and somewhere somewhat this was in line, somewhere somewhat the CBI was taking the note of the situation. But these are the live images from Manish Sisodia's residence, that's AB 17 Mathura Road residence of Manish Sisodia, where CBI team officials are still inside, and since from the morning they are conducting raid at around 20 premises, what I have been told. So this is going to be more trouble for Aam Aadmi Party, as we do know that yes, one of the ministers is already under the judicial custody, that's Satyendra Jain. Enforcement Directorate there has taken the action, and now this is Manoj Sisodia who is having the portfolio of home, of health also after Satyendra Jain was arrested, and different portfolio being held by Manish Sisodia, whereas he is also the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party senior leader who is under the radar of CBI at this point in time. And we are getting the live images, we have seen in the visuals how the CBI officials wearing the CBI jacket and the CBI cap was stationed here at the gate also, and few of the officers of the CBI are still inside there taking the note of the situation, what exactly is happening, and going through the papers, what I have been told, looking into the papers and questioning Manish Sisodia, what exactly is the business and how it has been dealt. That exactly is the allegation, that what exactly, if we talk about the excise policy which was changed, how it has been changed, what is the module, all these things will be putting in perspective that what exactly the business is all about and how it all has happened. If we talk about the excise policy which was changed in last November, and that is going to be the more trouble for Aam Aadmi Party. We are reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence, but yes, reminding it again that this is not limited to one place. This is not limited to one premises, but 20 places. 20 places is under the radar, 20 premises which is somewhere somewhat connected to Manish Sisodia is under the radar. What I've been told, this is another residence of Manish Sisodia in Mayur Vihar, from where Manish Sisodia MLA is also the MLA, and that's where we are seeing Manish Sisodia's premises being searched by the CBI officials. CBI officials here inside. We have given the live visuals of the CBI officers who were stationed at the gate also. They were wearing the CBI jacket and the CBI cap. And this is about the excise policy, more trouble for Aam Aadmi Party. We are waiting for the official response also, whereas the tweet has been already made in by Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia. And we have seen the several press conferences which was done by the Deputy Chief Minister, that's Manish Sisodia, who is under the radar at this point in time, where he was claiming what exactly had happened and giving clarification on the same, and rather saying that this is for the benefit of the businessmen and for the benefit of the Delhi. But on the other hand, this has been alleged that these are certain people, certain groups who has got benefit after this excise policy came in action. So we have seen the involvement of the LG also in the same, and now Aam Aadmi Party again under the radar. Aam Aadmi Party leadership, senior leader Manish Sisodia is under the radar, and CBI is making searches that's at the 20 premises what we have been told, and that is something what we are breaking, that's 20 premises under the radar of CBI. Yes, back to you.
Yes. Anuj, just stay with us. Talk to us about the big allegations that Manish Sisodia is facing at this point in relation to Delhi's excise policy decision, because what we understand as of now is that he faces grave allegations, which includes the excise department under Sisodia waived almost 145 crore rupees for the liquor cartel. In fact, the motive was to receive kickbacks and commissions from waivers. Well, Anuj, stay with us. We have AAP's Somnath Bharti also joining us. Somnath Bharti, if I can get your quick reaction. The CBI raids are on. Of course, Sisodia there facing grave allegations, which also includes excise department under Sisodia that waived almost 145 crore rupees for the liquor cartel.
So the investigation file is with you this moment?
Sir, the raids are still...
The victims have been shared with the information that how much has been waived, whose money has been waived. Has it come to you officially?
So these are the allegations that Sisodia is facing at this point, and the CBI raids are on. If I can get your response.
The basic allegation against Mr. Sisodia is that he has transformed education of India. That is the basic allegation. The basic problem of BJP with us is that we have given them sleepless nights. That the kind of reforms which has happened in India under the regime of Arvind Kejriwal ji is giving them, impossible situations. They cannot do it, and that is how these actions of CBI taking place. That's
Sir,
all.
yes.
Nothing more I have to say.
Sir, just a follow-up question. If the AAP leader and the Deputy CM Manish Sisodia has done no wrong, then why is the AAP crying, calling it a witch hunt? Let the CBI do its job, and Manish Sisodia will come here.
No. The problem is all right. So should I say that Mr. Modi has murdered somebody? Should I say an allegation? Then let it be investigated.
Sir, the big lead that is
somebody falsely and make him pass through the ordeal. And then say, all right, you'll come out clean. Is that the way the government is functioning now?
All right,
you have got no business but then to trouble the best Education Minister of India.
Yes. Sir, stay with us. We have Shehzad Poonawala also who would want to reply to your answer. Shehzad Poonawala, please go ahead.
First of all, whatever the CBI is doing as per the mandate of law. But I want to ask a few questions. Last time when Mr. Satyendra Jain went to jail, Mr. Kejriwal said Kattar Imandar hai. Last 2 months, Satyendra Jain is in jail. In fact, court after court has said he has a criminal background, that he was involved in money laundering. Now, is the court doing vindictive politics? Now, let's come to the liquor scam. The liquor scam, the Chief Secretary has submitted a report to the LG that there was a huge liquor scam. Shrimati Meenakshi Lekhi ji, Shri Sambit Pata ji and I did many press conferences and we asked specific questions. Some of those questions were shown by the public, like why 30 crore EMD was given. Why was the 144 crore loan, 144 crore waiver given to liquor mafia? Why was the rupees 50 per crate discount given to international liquor companies without following the rules? Why was the manufacturing company allowed to come into retail? Why were blacklisted companies allowed to come? Show cause notices were issued on which the Delhi government took no action. In fact, they've gone back from the new policy to the old, thereby indicating that there was corruption. Now, the questions that need to be answered are not being answered, and Mr. Kejriwal is indulging in what I call as ABC: advertising, Bhrashtachar, C, cover up for corruption, and D, deviation. Please ask Mr. Kejriwal, stop your victimhood, stop your whataboutery, and answer the question. Why is Satyendra Jain still in jail? Why haven't you sacked him? Why are you giving him VVIP treatment even now, despite the court orders against him? Why hasn't he got relief? Why is it that when legal procedures take place and there are questions that need to be answered on corruption, and you yourself have admitted that in the liquor policy there has been corruption because you went back to the old one? Why aren't you answering these questions, and instead you're playing a victimhood card? Should the agencies not do their job? So, this kind of deviation and diversion is the standard operating procedure. We've seen it in Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi's case also. They want to escape accountability, and therefore they will come up with this whataboutery.
Somnath Bharti, would you want to respond to Shehzad Poonawala? BJP, they are saying that you are playing the victimhood card.
See, the problem is that for the first time in the history of India, New York Times is reporting on the front page about education reforms which are being carried out in Delhi under the leadership of Kejriwal ji and Manish Sisodia. That is what troubling Mr. Modi and his people. If you look at the entire sequence of events, in fact, there is not a single paisa recovery from Mr. Jain or Mrs. Sisodia. What are they talking about corruption? Have they gone nuts? I mean, this is amazing. You can do anything because you are in the power. You can have CBI, you have ED. Yeah, the best thing would happen that you should have learned from these reforms which have been carried out in Delhi and duplicated them in your states. But no, he will not learn from these reforms, and rather he will try to disturb us. It's disturbing us. All right, go ahead. People are watching.
Well, Poonawalla, would you want to respond to Somnath Bharti?
Yes. I would request Republic to do one favor for me. Please Google the Delhi High Court order on Satyendra Jain. In fact, Mr. Kejriwal was told that this man has a criminal background. It is upon you whether you want to keep such a man in jail, who's in jail in your ministry. And secondly, the Delhi lower court, trial court, has taken cognizance of the charge sheet under PMLA against Satyendra Jain and has said that prima facie there is evidence that he is involved in money laundering. In fact, there is a 2019 August Delhi High Court order which specifically says
not a single,
single
money.
Yes.
Not a single paisa.
Madam, one at a time. Madam, my request is one at a time. If I am lying, Madam, are you listening to me? I, Shehzad Poonawalla, am the national spokesperson of the BJP. If I am lying and these court orders aren't there, I am happy to do whatever Somnath Bharti says. But if these court orders are there against Satyendra Jain, Mr. Somnath Bharti must tell us that is the court lying, is the court vindictive, or despite the court's findings, Kejriwal defends the court. He said no money was recovered. Republic showed how much money was recovered in the Satyendra Jain case from his Khas Admis and from other cases. You have shown this. Please Google this while we are speaking. Extend this phone out, and I request you to put out the fact outside. If I am lying, please tell me I'm lying, or if I'm saying the truth. Please ask Somnath ji. And why is Kejriwal defending this cutter corrupt man? Is it not a fact that the criminal background was spoken about by the High Court? Is it not a fact that the trial court has taken cognizance of the charge sheet against Mr. Satyendra Jain? Is it not a fact that in 2019 August, the Delhi High Court said that Satyendra Jain is involved in Hawala transactions? So why are we defending the corrupt? Somnath Bharti ji, I expected more of you.
Sajad ji, with all due respect, let's not get into investigation on the channel. I would say there is not a single paisa recovery from any of the places of any of the ministers or MLAs of Aam Aadmi Party. No, I'm not. See, I'm saying I have to. I know the.
Why haven't you sacked him?
Neither Mr. Jain nor anybody else of Aam Aadmi Party has ever done an iota of corruption. So please, let the investigation go on.
Is the court's finding and strictures against Mr. Satyendra Jain not enough for you? Is Mr. Kejriwal above the court?
No. See, what I'm saying with all due respect to court judgments, court orders, let the investigation go on.
Has the court findings no meaning for you? The court's findings have no meaning for you?
What I'm saying, sir.
The High Court's findings have no meaning.
What is the finding?
For you?
What is the finding?
The court has said, I'll tell you, 3 findings. In August 2019, the court, Delhi High Court said Satyendra Jain
is
involved in money laundering.
All right, Mr. Poonawalla and Somnath Bharti, we leave it at that. So let the CBI do its job. Let's go back to Anuj, who's reporting live from outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Anuj, what is the latest you are picking up? We understand that the raids... Well, before I go to Anuj, let me go to our senior editor, Shravan, who's also tracking the big leads. Shravan, over to you. Take us through the big leads coming in. Well, let me go to Anuj back. Anuj, take it away. Take us through all the updates you are picking up.
Well, the latest what we are breaking as we were breaking, this is not limited to one premises which is related to Manish Sisodia. Let me tell you what we are breaking, that the former excise commissioner also being raided. Former excise commissioner Arab Gopi Krishna, who was recently suspended by the LG, also being under the radar of CBI. That's something what we are breaking at this point in time. The then excise commissioner, when this excise policy was changed in the last November, the Arab Gopi Krishna also being suspended. We are reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence. I'll ask my video journalist to give you the sense from there also, where one CBI team is there. And yes, we are reporting more. We are breaking at this point in time that this is more raid. This is not limited to one, but the commissioner, the then former commissioner, also being raided. The commissioner who was suspended by the LG recently also being raided. Arab Gopi Krishna, the former excise commissioner of Delhi, when this excise policy came in action, also being raided, also under the radar of the CBI. At this point in time, we are breaking that. It's not limited
Anuj,
to one.
stay with us. Just hold your thoughts. Let me go back to our senior editor Shravan also, who's joining us. Shravan, we understand 4 public servants, including then Commissioner Excise Gopal Krishnan, being raided. Take us through the leads you are picking up.
Well, Samiksha, the latest news that we are picking up is that not just 20, now the locations where the searches are being carried out has increased to about 21 locations where these searches are being carried out as we speak, which basically includes 4 public servants. We're being told the then Commissioner, E. Gopi Krishna, is basically under the scanner. His premises are also being searched by the Central Bureau of Investigation along with Manish Sisodia. Apart from that, the other locations, which also includes a certain liquor vendors, because remember, the allegation being very clear. The allegation here is about quid pro quo and financial malpractices, in which they are basically saying that the excise department has favored certain vendors and in terms of the bidders in this particular case. What has turned out right now is that this is completely based on the report that has been submitted by the Chief Secretary to the LG. It is the LG who has basically recommended a Central Bureau of Investigation to be carried in, for them to step in. Now, there has been a preliminary inquiry that has also been carried out, but that is primarily which has got to do with the Chief Secretary's report. Depending on that, they are basically carrying out the searches right now. In fact, we can now confirm that the FIR has also been registered, and in that FIR, Manish Sisodia, Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, has also been named as an accused. If I can take our viewers through some of the details that we are picking up in terms of the charges that have been leveled so far. Now, the report basically is alleging that decisions that were basically taken by the excise department did not have the approval of the competent authority, which is essentially indicating that they did not have the approval of the cabinet and subsequently the lieutenant governor. In fact, what they are also raising is that when the Delhi government has introduced a new policy to increase the government revenue, improve the consumer experience, or for that matter, reduce corruption and redistribute liquor policies, liquor shops in an equitable manner, they're saying that none of that basically happened. Now, that's the allegation.
Shravan, I'm sorry, I'll have to interrupt you for just a moment. Let me go across to Alka Lamba of the Congress also joining us. Ma'am, if I can get your quick reaction, the AAP calling it a witch hunt even as Manish Sisodia faces grave allegations with respect to the liquor policy.
देखिए, आपको ये समझना होगा, ये आम आदमी पार्टी की नई शराब नीति, आपका नीति के खिलाफ सबसे पहले मुख्य सचिव ने भ्रष्टाचार पाया 144 करोड़ का। मुख्य सचिव की रिपोर्ट के आधार पर एलजी साहब ने सीबीआई को जांच सौंप दी है। इनके पहले से सत्येंद्र जैन स्वास्थ्य मंत्री 2 महीने से जेल में है भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों में। अब मनीष सिसोदिया जी दिल्ली छोड़कर इस समय पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री के साथ हिमाचल घूम रहे हैं। सत्तर ईमानदार बताते हैं, बच्चों का भविष्य बना रहे हैं। अरे, एक के साथ एक शराब की बोतल देकर आप भविष्य बना रहे थे दिल्ली के बच्चों का। आप शराब की पीने की उम्र को 25 से घटाकर 21 करके भविष्य बना रहे थे दिल्ली के बच्चों का। महिलाएं जब अपने मोहल्ले में शराब के खुले का विरोध कर रही थी, आपने महिला मार्शल से पिटवाया। ऐसे दिल्ली का भविष्य बन रहा था। मनीष सिसोदिया से कहूंगी, हिमाचल की स्वच्छ हवाओं को छोड़िए, दिल्ली की विश्व की सबसे जहरीली हवाओं में जाइए, सीबीआई का सामना करिए, भागिए मत। भ्रष्टाचार तो हुआ है, ये भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस का मानना है। सीबीआई को तो बहुत पहले कूदना था। हम तो खुद सोच रहे थे कि कहीं बीजेपी और आम आदमी में कोई समझौता तो नहीं चल रहा गुजरात हिमाचल चुनाव को लेकर। और हमारा मानना है कि इसकी जांच सीबीआई ने ईमानदारी से, निष्पक्षता से, फास्ट ट्रैक से कर दी तो इसमें भ्रष्टाचार मिलेगा। और कट्टर ईमानदार पार्टी का जो मुखौटा अरविंद केजरीवाल लगाकर घूम रहे हैं, उसके नीचे ये भ्रष्टाचार का खुलासा होगा, ये हमारा मानना है। सबूत भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस ने भी दिए हैं, पुलिस, सीबीआई सबको दिए हैं, जो हमारे पास थे पंजाब में किस तरीके से इन ठेकों को, लाइसेंसों को, नियमों को ताक पर रखकर किया गया है। जो फीस रद्द होने पर जब्त होनी थी, वो फीस माफ कर दी जाती है। चुनावी हमारा आरोप है, बिल्कुल आपके फंड में पैसा आया है, अब इसकी जांच सीबीआई में आ जाएगा।
Alka Lamba, we leave it at that. So Alka Lamba of the Congress also hitting out that AAP. Let me go back to Anuj, who's reporting live from outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Anuj, take it away. Take us through all the updates that you're picking up.
Well, at this point in time, we are giving the live visuals from Manish Sisodia's residence, as we have been telling this to our viewers since from the morning. The CBI is in action. The CBI team is in action, and this is regarding the excise policy And now this is not limited to one premises. Let me remind you again that this is not limited to one place from where I am reporting. This is Manish Sisodia's residence, AB 17 Mathura Road, from where I am reporting. But this is not limited to one, but the 21 premises. 21 premises in total, somewhere somewhat connected to Manish Sisodia or the people who were connected to the liquor policies, because this is not limited to the leader itself now, but the former excise commissioner. Former excise commissioner also being raided. That's something what we have been told. The then former excise commissioner also being raided. So that is going to be the more trouble for Aam Aadmi Party. And if we talk about the action which has been taken by the CBI, this has been stated. The FIR has been registered. And in this particular case, if we talk about the excise policy which came in action last year in November, where this has been stated that many of the groups or the people or certain groups was getting benefit of the same, and there was some amount which was expected to get in revert. That is something which has been alleged, or rather there in CBI is. So the CBI at this point in time is going through the excise policy, what exactly has happened and how this policy was changed. Let me remind you that this was by the Chief Secretary to the LG of the Delhi. The request was made in, and LG has made it requested for the CBI inquiry. Now the CBI is in action. CBI since from the very morning is in action, and as we are breaking, these are the live images from Manish Sisodia's residence, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, who is under the radar, and not limited to Manish Sisodia only, but the former excise commissioner is also under the radar of CBI, where the CBI is conducting the raid at the residence of former CBI commissioner, excise commissioner also. And that's something that the then commissioner who was there when this particular policy was implemented, when this policy came in action, November last year, it was the time when this policy came in action. I'll move forward to the another gate also to give you the more visuals. Let me give you the sense of the cars of the CBI officials. Earlier we have given you the visuals of the CBI officials who were there wearing the CBI jacket, wearing the CBI cap. This is related to the excise policy. This is related to the excise policy which was changed last year in November. Now this is the another gate. Another gate. I'll ask my video journalist Manish to give you the sense from there also. There, what I've been told that Manish Sisodia is being questioned by the CBI officials, and the papers are being looked up. The excise policy is being discussed. What exactly has happened? What exactly was the trail? What exactly was the formula if we talk about this particular policy? So that is something which all has been looked by the CBI official. We are reporting from the Manish Sisodia's residence, but mentioning it again and again that this is not limited to one place. This is not limited to one premises, but 21 premises are being searched and under the radar of CBI, where the former excise commissioner also being searched, former excise commissioner also under the radar of CBI. We are reporting live from Manish Sisodia's Mathura, AB 17 Mathura Road residence. That's the Deputy Chief Minister residence, where since from the morning the CBI team is in action. Let me remind you that this was tweeted by Manish Sisodia himself, that we welcome CBI, taking the same kind of line as we have always seen taken by the Aam Aadmi Party. We welcome CBI and relating it to the education system. We are going to work, we are not going to stop. That is something, the line which has been taken by Manish Sisodia. Arvind Kejriwal coming out with the same line. And yes, the political ramification of the same could be clearly seen, as we have seen it earlier also. This was the several press conferences which was done by none other but Manish Sisodia himself, where he was taking it on the BJP, saying that earlier BJP was trying to help their friend, giving particular shops to the particular people, and now this is not going to happen. The excise policy was changed by the Delhi government. The excise policy was changed, and we are reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence. Yes.
Well, another big lead coming in, that searches are underway in 7 states. That's another breaking that we are tracking. The searches that are underway in 7 states as we speak. Well, we'll go across to our reporters to get us more details, but that is a big lead coming in. The searches that are underway in at least 7 states, to be precise. In fact, we are told that Manish Sisodia's office is also being searched as we speak.
events have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
Coming from West Bengal, where 2 terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots, and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leaders is making a deliberate attempt by visiting Golden Temple with the t-shirt of Jagdish Titler to create the communal tension in Punjab.
जगदीश टाइटलर की टी-शर्ट डाल के वो गोल्डन टेम्पल में जाते हैं करमजीत सिंह गिल, क्या वो कांग्रेस के लीडर हैं या नहीं है?
मैं ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को जानता नहीं हूं भैया कि वो किसी पद पे हैं या नहीं है, लेकिन जो मेरे को बताया गया एससी विंग ने कि वो हमारे किसी पद पे नहीं। मैं कह रहा हूं उसके ऊपर पर्चा देके एसजीपीसी अंदर दे दें, हमें क्या मतलब है?
बाकी प्रदेशों में, बाकी यूटीज में रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट के तहत जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं वो यहाँ पे भी अप्लाई होते हैं।
बीजेपी के 25 लाख जो नॉन लोकल्स हैं वोटर्स, उनको यहाँ इंक्लूड किया जाएगा, एंड आई थिंक दिस इज द लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफन ऑफ इलेक्टोरल डेमोक्रेसी है।
घुसपैठिए के रूप में ही गिने जाएंगे। उनको वापस भेजने की बात विदेश मंत्रालय के माध्यम से संबंधित देशों से की जा रही है।
आप केंद्र सरकार का स्पष्ट रुख देश के सामने रखें, और दिल्ली सरकार बार बार अपना रुख साफ कर चुकी है। रोहिंग्याओं के किसी भी तरह के प्रवास को दिल्ली सरकार दिल्ली की सुरक्षा के लिए, देश की सुरक्षा के लिए खतरा मानती है।
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OPS finally getting
much development now coming in. Searches are not only restricted to the Delhi NCR region. Top sources now confirming that in the excise liquor policy, which is now being under the scanner of the Central Bureau of Investigation, they're carrying out searches at 7 states, also including the Union Territories. We're again given to understand not just Manish Sisodia's residence, but Manish Sisodia's office is also being searched by the CBI. This comes after the CBI has registered an FIR against the Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and a few other public servants, including the then Commissioner E. Gopikrishnan, is what we have been told at this point in time. Slipping into a short break. On the other side, we'll be getting in more details.
More trouble for Aam Aadmi Party. Manish Sisodia, Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, is under the radar of CBI. 21 premises being raided by the CBI officials from the morning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OPS finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir. कश्मीर घाटी में आम नागरिकों को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है, बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। और
celebrations happening right in front of the OPS's house.
Now showing you the pictures of this flag march which is right now underway.
Staging protest against Pakistan over the civilian killings in the Kashmir Valley. The events have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
Coming from West Bengal, where 2 terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
You're watching Live and Breaking. The CBI, even as we speak, is conducting searches at over 20 places in and around NCR, including Manish Sisodia's residence in the Delhi excise case. CBI conducting raids and trouble mounting for the Aam Aadmi Party as 2 of its most senior ministers are in the dock. Satyendra Jain as well as now Manish Sisodia. Latest inputs suggest that searches are on in Daman and Diu as well, which are among 20 locations. And Shawan, to tell us about this latest development. Shawan, when we talk about the raids that are underway, well, can we say that trouble is mounting for the Aam Aadmi Party once again?
There's absolutely no doubt about the fact that there is more trouble in store for the Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, because as we speak right now, we can now confirm for our viewers that these searches are not only limited to Manish Sisodia's residence, but the searches are also being carried out at Manish Sisodia's office. Apart from that, 21 locations where these searches are being carried out in the Delhi NCR region. Not just that, 7 states and union territories where the searches are being carried out. In fact, we've now just got a confirmation that the searches are being carried out in Daman and Diu. We're waiting for a confirmation to come in whether at all searches are being carried out in Telangana, because given the fact that there is a link that has basically emerged from Telangana, given the fact that certain vendors that the Chief Secretary in his report had basically indicated that some of these vendors were basically favored by the excise department. Now, the allegations, there are basically 3 broad allegations that the CBI is basically probing at this point in time, which basically includes one, certainly being the quid pro quo in this entire matter. Apart from that, remember, there are 2 other aspects that the Central Bureau of Investigation is looking at. That is loss to public exchequer, and awarding contracts to ineligible vendors is what we are being told at this point in time.
Well, Shawan, but the Aam Aadmi Party continuing to maintain its innocence in the matter. Manish Sisodia continuing to deny all the charges and accusations. Let's go across to our correspondent Anuj, who's there at one of the 8 raid locations. Anuj, what's the latest news from where you are?
Well, at this point in time, what we are breaking is that the FIR has been already registered, and the FIR, let me tell you, is registered against 5 people, including Manish Sisodia, that's the Deputy Chief Minister of the Delhi, the senior Aam Aadmi Party leader, where at this point in time the CBI team is, and I'm reporting from the same residence of Manish Sisodia. Let me tell you, 5 people against whom the FIR has been registered in this particular case by the CBI, including Manish Sisodia, including the former excise commissioner, and 3 other officials, what I've been told through my sources. 3 other officials of the excise department only, against whom the FIR has been registered. So the action has been taken by the CBI, as we are reporting on this, that 21 are the premises which is under the radar of the CBI, and since from the morning, CBI officials are in action where 21 places are being raided by the CBI officials, including this very place from where I am reporting. I'll ask my video journalist to give it a sense and the visuals from Manish Sisodia's residence. This is the residence of Manish Sisodia. But what we are breaking at this point in time is that five against 5 people, this FIR has been registered by the CBI. This is against Manish Sisodia. This is against the former excise commissioner and 3 other officials of the Delhi Secretariat. 3 other officials of the Delhi government. Against 5, this particular FIR has been registered. That is something what we are breaking at this point in time. Live images from Manish Sisodia's residence, and this is about the excise policy. This has been alleged that the Delhi government was giving benefit to certain groups, to certain people, and we have seen the political ramification of the same earlier also. But this is from today early in the morning, the CBI team is in action. CBI team could be clearly seen in action, not limited to Delhi NCR, but to Daman and Diu to Delhi NCR. This is 21 premises, 21 location which is being raided by the CBI. 21 places which is being raided by the CBI official, and what we are breaking at this point in time is that yes, the FIR has been registered against 5. This includes Manish Sisodia, this includes the former excise commissioner, this includes the 3 other officials of the Delhi government. The FIR has been registered by the CBI official, and since from the morning we are seeing CBI in action where 21 premises is being raided. This is about the excise policy which came in action last year in November. And Aam Aadmi Party coming out with their own policy, but that did not work. Rather, the allegation is that there was certain attempt by the Aam Aadmi Party, or rather the planning of the Aam Aadmi Party to give benefit to certain groups or to the certain people, and that is under the radar of CBI. We have seen it earlier that how Manish Sisodia was doing different press conferences, coming out with the press conferences and making it clear what exactly the policy is. But on the other hand, the CBI has taken the case now because this was the request of LG. Let me remind you, from Chief Secretary to LG and from LG to the CBI, that the inquiry should be done if we are talking about this excise policy. Now the CBI has already came in action, and since from the morning we do understand that the CBI officials are raiding 21 premises which is somewhere somewhat connected to Manish Sisodia or to the Deputy Chief Minister of the Delhi. That's about the excise policy. The former excise commissioner also being raided, and the FIR has been registered. The FIR against 5 has been already registered, including Manish Sisodia, and this has been done by the CBI. The inquiry was initiated by the CBI, and this was after the request of the LG of Delhi, and now the CBI could be clearly seen in action. We are reporting from the AB17 Mathura Road residence of Manish Sisodia, where we have shown you the CBI officials wearing the CBI jacket and the CBI cap. There the investigation is underway. Since from the very morning, what I have been told, there was several officers of CBI reaching to this particular location of Manish Sisodia, this premises. That's the government official residence of Manish Sisodia from where I am reporting. And what I have been told, there is another residence of Manish Sisodia in Mayur Vihar Phase 3, which is also under the radar. The premises of former excise commissioner is also under the radar. And from Daman and Diu to National Capital. From Daman and Diu to National Capital, the 21 places being under the radar and being searched by the CBI. The CBI is in action since from the very morning. We do understand that this is about, yes, the excise policy which came in action last year in November, and now the CBI officials could be clearly seen in action. We are giving you the live visuals there. What I've been told, that the papers are being looked up. Papers are being looked up by the CBI official, and Manish Sisodia is being questioned that what exactly this policy is all about. And if we talk about this policy, what exactly the criteria, the pattern on which the Delhi government was willing to work on, and rather has worked for almost a year, because this particular policy was implemented, was seen in action from last November. And let me tell you, it was earlier the wine shops, the liquor shop, which was run by the government, but later it was given to the private vendors. The Delhi, let me also tell you, was divided into several zones, and it was around 7 zones in which Delhi was divided. If we are talking about this new excise policy, earlier it was to an individual man, individual shopkeeper, individual owner. When we are talking about this liquor policy, the old liquor policy, but when we are talking about the new liquor policy, then this was not limited to a man or an individual who can run a shop, who can run a liquor shop, but this was divided in the zone. So Delhi was divided in the zone, and this was divided in 7 zones. Under one zone, this was 28 to 29 shops. Under one zone, this was 28 to 29 shops of liquor, which was allotted to a single man, a single group. This was the change in the excise policy, let me tell you. And the Delhi was, again I'm reminding, was divided into 7 zones. There the excise policy have changed. If we talk about the money, if we talk about the revenue rather, which was earlier being taken by the Delhi government, was 6,500 crores. But later it was after implementing the new policy to 9,500 crore. That is something which has been stated by Manish Sisodia. Manish Sisodia, who is under the radar, who at this point in time is being raided by the CBI. So this is something for the viewers to understand it more clearly, what exactly has happened if we are talking about this particular excise policy. Earlier, if we are talking about the older policy, this was limited to a single owner. But later in the new policy, this was divided in the zones. A zone, individual zones, was including 28 to 29 liquor shops, and it was divided into 7 zones. The Delhi was divided into 7 zones. So that was the change which was made in by the Delhi government. And if we are talking about this new excise policy which was implemented last year in November, now the CBI officials could be clearly seen. The CBI officials is at the residence of Manish Sisodia. We are continuously reporting live on the story. We'll be right back. This is going to be more trouble for Aam Aadmi Party at CBI. Could be clearly seen in action since from the very morning. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 10th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. The decision of the Gujarat government to free Bilkis Bano's rapists is not just morally and ethically wrong, it mutilates the very concept of justice. And I'm shocked that in a country that came together to fight for Nirbhaya 10 years back, there is pin-drop silence from so many. I'm horrified also that political parties with one eye on the Gujarat elections are not ready to speak out openly on it, especially not in Gujarat. The images of Bilkis Bano's rapists being garlanded and greeted and honored. Look at those pictures, viewers. And given sweets outside the jail in Godhra, as if the act of rape and murder is something that we should celebrate. These pictures are as reprehensible as the images of former minister and BJP leader Jayant Sinha garlanding lynchers in Jharkhand a few years back. Any form of appeasement is bad. So speak up, viewers. Appeasing lynchers is bad. Appeasing rapists and murderers and killers of a 3-year-old child is unacceptable. The 11 accused of raping Bilkis are also responsible for killing her young daughter. And they need to be made to feel responsible for life, for what they did. As a society, as a nation, and as a people, we cannot call the rapists men of good character, good sanskar, like the BJP MLA who was part of the committee that signed the release order has done. Are we going to be quiet about it? Viewers, as a nation, we are at the crossroads. We need to take a position not on the basis of short-term political convenience, but on the fundamental basis of what is right and what is wrong. And to make convicted rapists and murderers heroes just out of hate or spite is wrong. And it is not acceptable in a civilized society. And I tonight call upon all responsible voices in this nation. And with all humility, I call upon the Supreme Court of India to intervene in this case. Because, as all the honorable lordships would know, the Gujarat government has not decided to support the rapists and murderers on the basis of a sense of justice, but by using a legal technique.
CBI is conducting searches at over 21 locations in and around NCR, including at Manish Sisodia's residence, that's the Deputy Chief Minister. In the Delhi excise case, 4 public servants, including then Commissioner Excise, also under the scanner. Anuj reporting from the scene where it's all happening. Anuj, it's over to you. Take us through what's happening.
CBI in action since from the very morning. I'm reporting live from Manish Sisodia's residence. That's AB 17 at the Mathura Road, where I'm reporting from, and CBI could be clearly seen in action since from the very morning. Let me tell you that this is not limited to one place, but the 21 premises is being raided and under the radar of CBI, and the FIR has been already registered against 5, including Manish Sisodia and 4 other officials of the Delhi government, including the former Delhi Excise Commissioner. We have RP Singh, the BJP spokesperson, with us. What we have been told, Mr. RP Singh, if you can hear me, what do you have to say? What do you have to say? Because Aam Aadmi Party again and again targeting Bharatiya Janata Party, but this is under the radar now. The CBI at the residence of.
As the CBI raids are undergoing at his residence, the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Sisodia himself are crying foul, asserting when at the time when they are doing good work for the national capital, it is the central government that is targeting them. With us, we have BJP's national spokesperson RP Singh ji. So how do you see these allegations by the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister? Because the Chief Minister has asserted that on a day when Sisodia's education model has made headlines at New York Times, the central government has sent CBI to their residence. Well,
it's a victim card they are playing. They are not answering the real question. The tinkering of the excise policy for making money. 144.36 crore was benefit was given to a cartel on name of Corona, and another 30 crore was waived off for L1 vendor. No, they are not answering the real questions. As for New York Times, we know what there's a PR exercise being done by paying money to certain people there, but that's separate. But issue is, let's understand the education model. Out of 1,054 schools in Delhi, in 827 schools there is no principal. Almost 70% schools don't have science education. But just by coloring certain schools, some 25 schools, you paint and color them better, so and then make better blackboards. So that doesn't make that you change education pattern in Delhi. The fact is that more than 1 lakh children drop out from schools, Delhi schools, in 9th and 10th, year after year. They don't talk about that. So that's all a build-up, because they knew they have done the bungling in the excise policy, and then they made huge money out of it. Everyone knows that whole of the Punjab election was contested on basis of this excise policy, because they got the cartels in. They tinkered with the policies. And now they have to answer that how did Mr. Sisodia did what he did of helping his friends, cartels, without taking a cabinet approval. He's a minister, but still he has to take, for policy matters, he needs to take a cabinet approval. They did it post facto after he has done it. And not only that, for that meeting also, the rules were not followed. But you have to give a notice to the LG 48 hours before the cabinet meeting, and the cabinet note has to go to the LG before that. Rather, Chief Secretary was called that very...
FIR registered against Manish Sisodia and 4 others officials of the Delhi government. Reporting live on the story. Will be right back after a short break. More trouble for Aam Aadmi Party. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 10th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
Jagdish Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leaders is making a deliberate attempt by visiting Golden Temple with the t-shirt of Jagdish Titler to create the communal tension in Punjab.
जगदीश टाइटलर की टी-शर्ट डाल के वो गोल्डन टेम्पल में जाते हैं करमजीत सिंह गिल, क्या वो कांग्रेस के लीडर हैं या नहीं है?
मैं ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को जानता नहीं हूं भैया कि वो किसी पद पे हैं या नहीं है, लेकिन जो मेरे को बताया गया एससी विंग ने कि वो हमारे किसी पद पे नहीं। मैं कह रहा हूं उसके ऊपर पर्चा दे के एसजीपीसी अंदर दे दें, हमें क्या मतलब है उससे?
बाकी प्रदेशों में, बाकी यूटीज में रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट के तहत जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं वो यहाँ पे भी अप्लाई होते हैं।
बीजेपी के 25 लाख जो नॉन लोकल्स हैं वोटर्स, उनको यहाँ इंक्लूड किया जाएगा। एंड आई थिंक दिस इज द लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफन ऑफ इलेक्टोरल डेमोक्रेसी है।
घुसपैठिए के रूप में ही गिने जाएंगे। उनको वापस भेजने की बात विदेश मंत्रालय के माध्यम से संबंधित देशों से की जा रही है।
आप केंद्र सरकार का स्पष्ट रुख देश के सामने रखें और दिल्ली सरकार बार बार अपना रुख साफ कर चुकी है। रोहिंग्याओं के किसी भी तरह के प्रवास को दिल्ली सरकार दिल्ली की सुरक्षा के लिए, देश की सुरक्षा के लिए खतरा मानती है।
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OP is finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir. कश्मीर घाटी में आम नागरिकों को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है, बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। और
Celebrations happening right in front of the OPS's house.
Now showing you the pictures of this flag march which is right now underway.
Trump is staging protest against Pakistan over the civilian killings in the Kashmir Valley. The raids have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
Big news coming from West Bengal, where 2 terrorists have been nabbed by the STF and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that
Let's listen in to what Union Minister Anurag Thakur has to say about the CBI raids underway in around 21 locations.
भ्रष्टाचारी जितना मर्जी ईमानदारी का चोला पहन ले, वह भ्रष्टाचारी ही रहता है। और आम आदमी पार्टी का भ्रष्टाचार एक बार नहीं कई बार देखने को सामने आया है। आज मुद्दा है शराब के ठेकों का, शराब के ठेकों में हुए भ्रष्टाचार का। और इस विभाग के मंत्री हैं मनीष सिसोदिया जी। जिस दिन सीबीआई को जांच दी, उसी दिन शराब नीति को वापस लिया। अगर शराब नीति में कोई घोटाला नहीं था तो उसको वापस क्यों लिया? क्योंकि शराब के ठेकों में भ्रष्टाचार हुआ। शराब के ठेकों में दिल्ली में भयंकर भ्रष्टाचार हुआ। अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया की सांठगांठ सामने आई। भ्रष्टाचारी जितना मर्जी ईमानदारी का चोला पहन ले, वह भ्रष्टाचारी ही रहता है। और आम आदमी पार्टी का भ्रष्टाचार एक बार नहीं कई बार देखने को सामने आया है। आज मुद्दा है शराब के ठेकों का, शराब के ठेकों में हुए भ्रष्टाचार का। और इस विभाग के मंत्री हैं मनीष सिसोदिया जी। जिस दिन सीबीआई को जांच दी, उसी दिन शराब नीति को वापस लिया। अगर शराब नीति में कोई घोटाला नहीं था तो उसको वापस क्यों लिया? क्योंकि शराब के ठेकों में भ्रष्टाचार हुआ। शराब के ठेकों में दिल्ली में भयंकर भ्रष्टाचार हुआ। अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया की सांठगांठ सामने आई।
So that was Union Minister Anurag Thakur hitting on Aam Aadmi Party. More trouble for AAP. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Coming from West Bengal, where two terrorists have been nabbed by the STF, and also they are in STF custody now, and STF is trying to understand who else are there in the state who are related to Al-Qaeda. There are documents which says that there should be a war against India, there should be attacks in India, and that kind of documents have been found from them.
Titler is a key conspirator of 1984 Delhi Sikh riots, and his name is already in the legal files as well. Despite knowing all these facts, this Congress leaders is making a deliberate attempt by visiting Golden Temple with the t-shirt of Jagdish Titler to create the communal tension in Punjab.
जगदीश टाइटलर की टी-शर्ट डाल के वो गोल्डन टेम्पल में जाते हैं करमजीत सिंह गिल। क्या वो कांग्रेस के लीडर हैं या नहीं है?
मैं ऐसे किसी व्यक्ति को जानता नहीं हूं भैया कि वो किसी पद पे हैं या नहीं है, लेकिन जो मेरे को बताया गया एससी विंग ने कि वो हमारे किसी पद पे नहीं। मैं कह रहा हूं उसके ऊपर पर्चा दे के एसजीपीसी अंदर दे दें, हमें क्या मतलब है?
बाकी प्रदेशों में, बाकी यूटीज में रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल एक्ट के तहत जो भी प्रोविजंस हैं वो यहाँ पे भी अप्लाई होते हैं।
बीजेपी के 25 लाख जो नॉन लोकल्स हैं वोटर्स, उनको यहाँ इंक्लूड किया जाएगा। एंड आई थिंक दिस इज द लास्ट नेल इन द कॉफन ऑफ इलेक्टोरल डेमोक्रेसी है।
घुसपैठिए के रूप में ही गिने जाएंगे। उनको वापस भेजने की बात विदेश मंत्रालय के माध्यम से संबंधित देशों से की जा रही है।
आप केंद्र सरकार का स्पष्ट रुख देश के सामने रखें, और दिल्ली सरकार बार बार अपना रुख साफ कर चुकी है। रोहिंग्याओं के किसी भी तरह के प्रवास को दिल्ली सरकार दिल्ली की सुरक्षा के लिए, देश की सुरक्षा के लिए खतरा मानती है।
Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OP is finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir. कश्मीर घाटी में आम नागरिकों को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है, बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जाएगा। और
Celebrations happening right in front of the OPS's house.
Now showing you the pictures of this flag march which is right now underway.
Nirantar is staging protest against Pakistan over the civilian killings in the Kashmir Valley. The raids have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir. Kashmiri Pandits are staging protest here against the killing of Kashmiri Pandit.
OP is finally getting a win in this matter.
National Investigation Agency teams are leaving the house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir.
And straight away tracking the latest that is coming on the CBI raids which are currently underway. In fact, we are understanding that the Samajwadi Party has also reacted to the raids which are currently underway. Let's listen.
अरे किस दुनिया में जी रहे हैं? किस प्रदेश में हैं, कहाँ है कानून व्यवस्था, कहाँ है पुलिस, कहाँ है सरकार का बुलडोजर, किस चीज़ का डर है? ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी से जुड़े हुए लोग हैं जिन्होंने लड़के लड़कियों को पीटा है, निर्वस्त्र कर कर के वीडियो बनाया है और वायरल कर रहे हैं। योगी जी अब कहाँ हैं, आप कहाँ सोए हैं?
So the Samajwadi Party also reacting to the CBI raids which are currently underway. In fact, on that note, let's once again listen in to what Union Minister Anurag Thakur had to say just a short while back on the CBI raids which are underway.
भ्रष्टाचारी जितना मर्जी ईमानदारी का चोला पहन ले, वह भ्रष्टाचारी ही रहता है। और आम आदमी पार्टी का भ्रष्टाचार एक बार नहीं कई बार देखने को सामने आया है। आज मुद्दा है शराब के ठेकों का, शराब के ठेकों में हुए भ्रष्टाचार का। और इस विभाग के मंत्री हैं मनीष सिसोदिया जी। जिस दिन सीबीआई को जांच दी, उसी दिन शराब नीति को वापस लिया। अगर शराब नीति में कोई घोटाला नहीं था तो उसको वापस क्यों लिया? क्योंकि शराब के ठेकों में भ्रष्टाचार हुआ। शराब के ठेकों में दिल्ली में भयंकर भ्रष्टाचार हुआ। अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया की सांठगांठ सामने आई।
So, as you just heard, Union Minister Anurag Thakur there also launching an attack on the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that there has been rampant corruption right under the nose of the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, CBI raids are currently underway in 21 locations in 7 states. We also have Anuj reporting live from outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Anuj, take it away. We understand that raids are underway in 21 locations. In fact, the ex-commissioner of the Excise Commission is also under scanner.
Well, that's something what is official at this point in time by the CBI itself, that the raid is underway at the 21 premises, somewhere somewhat connected to Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. And let me tell you that the FIR has been already registered against 5, what we have been told. This is including Manish Sisodia, ex-commissioner of the excise from the Delhi, and 3 other officials of the Delhi government itself. So the FIR has been registered, and since from the very morning we are seeing the CBI in action, where 21 places is being raided by the CBI officials. This is regarding the excise policy which came in action in November last year.
और एजेंसीज बहुत सारी हैं, प्रधानमंत्री जी के पास ईडी है, इनकम टैक्स है, सबका स्वागत है। ये कोई पहली बार नहीं हुआ कि सीबीआई का केस दर्ज किया गया है। सीबीआई के छापे पहले भी मारे गए हैं, मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय तक में छापे मारे गए, उप मुख्यमंत्री के यहाँ पहले सीबीआई जा चुकी है। सवाल यह है मिला क्या? अब तक किसी केस में अगर कुछ मिला हो तो ये बताएं। जब छापा पड़ता है, सीबीआई जाती है, हर जगह खबर चलती है, हर जगह सवाल उठते हैं, बीजेपी वालों को मौका मिल जाता है भ्रष्टाचारी कहने का, मगर निकलता कुछ नहीं है। आज देश के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा दिन था। अमेरिका के सबसे बड़े अखबार न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स में फ्रंट पेज पे, पहले पन्ने पे भारत देश के दिल्ली शहर के शिक्षा मॉडल की चर्चा हुई है। उसके अंदर मनीष सिसोदिया जी का एक फोटो छपा है पहले पेज पे, और पूरे देश के, पूरी दुनिया के भारतीयों के अंदर इतनी अच्छी फीलिंग है कि आज देश का नाम अमेरिका के अंदर रोशन हो रहा है। और देश में क्या हो रहा है? प्रधानमंत्री जी, उसी शिक्षा मंत्री जिसकी शिक्षा का डंका पूरे संसार में बज रहा है, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने उस शिक्षा मंत्री के घर सीबीआई भेज दी है, उसके यहाँ छापा मारा। ये बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। भ्रष्टाचार की बात भारतीय जनता पार्टी आज पूरे दिन करेगी, क्योंकि छापा मारा ही इसलिए जाता है। सवाल ये उठता है, गुजरात के अंदर शराबबंदी है, सैकड़ों लोग जहरीली नकली शराब से मर रहे हैं। गुजरात के हर गांव के अंदर और हर शहर के अंदर फोन करो, शराब उपलब्ध है। इतना बड़ा नेटवर्क चल रहा है। आपने कभी सुना कि सीबीआई और ईडी की जांच हो रही हो, छापे पड़े हो? नहीं होगी, क्योंकि वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग हैं। गुजरात के अंदर 20,000 करोड़ की ड्रग्स पकड़ी गई, और अभी कुछ हजार करोड़ की अभी कुछ दिन पहले पकड़ी गई है। क्या किसी के घर सीबीआई की रेड पड़ी या ईडी की जांच हुई? 20,000 करोड़ की ड्रग्स थी? नहीं हुई, क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग हैं। अभी मोदी जी ने, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बुंदेलखंड एक्सप्रेस की शुरुआत खुद करी। उन्होंने उसका उद्घाटन किया, 5 दिन बाद एक्सप्रेस वे गिर गया।
उसके अंदर कोई छापा पड़ा सीबीआई का? नहीं पड़ा। व्यापम घोटाले के अंदर तो पत्रकारों तक की हत्या कर दी गई, उसमें कोई छापा पड़ा? कहीं पे सीबीआई की रेड हुई हो? नहीं हुई। ये जो सीबीआई है, जो ईडी है, जो इनकम टैक्स है, सिर्फ और सिर्फ विपक्ष और अरविंद केजरीवाल के पीछे है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये बात जानती है, पूरी दुनिया के अंदर अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के शिक्षा मॉडल और स्वास्थ्य मॉडल की चर्चा है, शानदार स्कूलों की चर्चा है, एजुकेशन की चर्चा है, वर्ल्ड क्लास मोहल्ला क्लिनिक्स की चर्चा है, अस्पतालों की चर्चा है, मुफ्त इलाज, मुफ्त टेस्ट, मुफ्त दवाइयों की चर्चा पूरी दुनिया में हो रही है। तो पहले स्वास्थ्य मंत्री को जेल के अंदर डाला गया, अब शिक्षा मंत्री को जेल में डालेंगे, क्योंकि समस्या प्रधानमंत्री महोदय को दिल्ली के स्वास्थ्य और शिक्षा मॉडल से है, समस्या अरविंद केजरीवाल के दिल्ली मॉडल से है, और ये चीज़ें चलती रहेंगी। हम इनसे डरने वाले नहीं हैं, हम इनसे घबराने वाले नहीं हैं। जितनी जांच बिठानी है, जितनी रेड करनी है, प्रधानमंत्री जी कर लें।
So that was the AAP's response to the CBI raids which are underway, calling it a witch hunt. Let me go across to Piyush Ori as well, who's reporting live from outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Piyush, if you could take us to the reactions coming in. The AAP there saying that the centre has issues with the Delhi education model. So crying foul there. Take us to the reactions coming in as well as the big leads that you're picking up in connection to these raids.
So definitely, this was expected, after the CBI conducted raids at Manish Sisodia, who is the top minister of Aam Aadmi Party, political slugfest was expected, and it did. The moments after CBI raided Manish Sisodia's residence, there were a series of words that came forward, in which people criticized, this move conducted by the CBI. Top BJP leaders from Delhi has said that, the CBI is acting in accordance to the law, and they're acting in corruption, which has happened in the excise policy that was drafted by the Aam Aadmi Party. Meanwhile, the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, led by Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, and Bhagwant Mann, the Chief Minister of Punjab, have said that this is all a witch hunt which is being conducted against them. In fact, they said that, today, when the New York Times, the leading papers, daily papers of United States of America and all over the world, mentioned about Aam Aadmi Party's education model and Delhi's education model, it is being done in order to malign the Aam Aadmi Party. So, what is being happening over here is a political slugfest, and we are talking to you at a time when CBI is still conducting the raids at Manish Sisodia's residence over this alleged misappropriation in the excise policy, and they are trying to find out, certain leads that can help them in finding some evidences in the excise policy. In addition to raiding Manish Sisodia's residence, there are also 20 other locations that are being raided by the CBI. So, amid all the raids that are being conducted, the political war of words continues between the Aam Aadmi Party and Delhi BJP. Back to you in the studio.
Yes, Piyush, stay with us. Let's also listen into the new reaction coming in of the BJP on these mega raids that are being carried out by the CBI in connection with Delhi's excise policy.
उनकी धज्जियां उड़ा के उनके माफ कर दिए। शराब माफिया पर इतने मेहरबान हो गए कि उनकी अर्नेस्ट मनी 30 करोड़ रुपए जो फोरफिट होनी चाहिए उसको वापस कर दिया, और ब्लैक लिस्टेड कंपनी को शराब के ठेके दिए मनमाने तरीके से। तो शराब माफिया को फ़ायदा पहुंचाने के लिए दिल्ली में सरकार बनाई थी आपने, यही आपका मॉडल है। आप लोगों को शराब पिलाने के लिए, सिखाने के लिए काम कर रहे थे। ये मनीष सिसोदिया जी क्या उस मॉडल की चर्चा करेंगे कि जो दिल्ली के लोगों को जिसने बर्बाद कर दिया, और जब ये नई शराब नीति से ये कह रहे थे हमें करोड़ों रुपए का फ़ायदा हुआ है, और जब सीबीआई की जांच हुई तो तुरंत उस शराब नीति को वापस किया। हजारों करोड़ रुपए का जो रेवेन्यू दिल्ली को फ़ायदा हो सकता था, जो दिल्ली में बेहतर काम करने के लिए पैसा आ सकता था, वो शराब माफिया पर लुटा देती है दिल्ली सरकार। और इस तरह ये कहते कि हमारा मॉडल बहुत अच्छा है। क्या यही मॉडल है आपका? तो नई शराब नीति जो लाए, जिससे दिल्ली को बर्बाद कर दिया, दिल्ली के युवाओं को बर्बाद कर दिया, दिल्ली में हजारों करोड़ रुपए का राजस्व जो आना था, जिससे दिल्ली का विकास हो सकता था, उस राजस्व को शराब माफिया और आम आदमी पार्टी ने मिलकर बांटा है। और ये बिल्कुल आम चर्चा है कि ऐन वक्त पर उस समय लाए जिस समय देश में कोरोना था, जिस समय कोरोना से लड़ने की जरूरत थी, उस समय इनको शराब माफिया की चिंता हो रही थी और वो सारा पैसा इन्होंने पंजाब के चुनाव में खर्चा किया है। पंजाब के चुनाव में गलत तरीके से शराब माफिया से पैसा लेकर खर्च किया और इसीलिए शराब नीति को लाने में इतनी जल्दबाजी इन्होंने की। नई शराब नीति दिल्ली को बर्बादी के कगार पर ले आई है। ये आम आदमी पार्टी शराब की नई पॉलिसी लाकर दिल्ली के राजस्व का हजारों करोड़ रुपए नुकसान किया है। शराब माफिया को इन्होंने फायदा पहुंचाया है।
जी सर, साथ ही कांग्रेस जो हमेशा से क्वेश्चन उठाती आई है बीजेपी के हर मूव पर या कहीं भी इस तरह की जैसे रेड होती है, चाहे ईडी हो, सीबीआई हो, कांग्रेस की तरफ से बयान आया है कि जो एजेंसीज हैं उनका मिसयूज़ किया जा रहा है, इस तरह का यूज़ जो अपोजिशन के अगेंस्ट किया जा रहा है।
देखिए, कांग्रेस तो पहले से ही जिस तरह से उन्होंने उनके ऊपर भ्रष्टाचार के तमाम आरोप, और वो लोग हैं, ये बात वो लोग कह रहे हैं जो जमानत पर छूटे हैं। कांग्रेस के नेता जो जमानत पर छूटे हैं भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप में, जिन्होंने स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों के पैसों से बनाई हुई कंपनी, उनके खून पसीने की कमाई से बनाई हुई कंपनी को हड़प लिया और उसका कॉमर्शियल इस्तेमाल किया, उसका व्यावसायिक इस्तेमाल किया है, उसमें भ्रष्टाचार किया है। वो कांग्रेस आज इस तरह की बातें कर रही है जो कि एजेंसियां हैं, चाहे वो कोई भी एजेंसी हो, सरकारी एजेंसी, निष्पक्ष तरीके से काम कर रही हैं, वो पारदर्शी तरीके से काम कर रही हैं। जो लोग भ्रष्टाचार कर रहे हैं, जिन्होंने दिल्ली सरकार में भ्रष्टाचार किया, जिन्होंने अपने पद का दुरुपयोग किया है, अगर उनके ऊपर जांच चल रही है, ठीक है, जांच की कार्रवाई होगी, जो दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो जाएगा।
जी सर, थैंक यू।
To Piyush there, who's reporting live from outside Sisodia's residence. Piyush, of course, a big allegation there that Sisodia faces at this point is how he allegedly favored the liquor mafia. If you could take us through these grave allegations that Sisodia is facing.
So definitely, these are the very grave allegations that have been, leveled against Manish Sisodia, who is also the excise minister of the Delhi government. Now, it has been alleged that, undue benefits were being provided to certain liquor vendors, and because of which, there were 144 crore loss that was accrued by the Delhi government. And that, when this draft was mentioned by the Chief Secretary to the Lieutenant Governor, the Lieutenant Governor on 8th of July ordered a CBI inquiry, because of which now the CBI has registered a case in this matter, and raids now has begun on Manish Sisodia's residence and other locations. That also includes the former excise commissioner. Now his location is also being raided at Daman and Diu, as what we've been told. But what has also been, the moment this case was registered by CBI, there has been a war of words between the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party. Now, this also comes in the backdrop when, preparations for Gujarat elections are taking place. So, the Delhi BJP and also the other members of BJP are saying that this proceeds of crime that was accrued by the Aam Aadmi Party was being used first in the Punjab elections and then also in the Gujarat elections. So what you are seeing is that, there are a lot of grave allegations now that are being leveled against Aam Aadmi Party of how the proceeds of crime, of how the alleged illegal money which was accrued from this excise policy was being used by the through the political activities of Aam Aadmi Party. Allegations aside, the CBI is conducting its raids, but that does not stop Aam Aadmi Party as well as BJP to have political slugfest, and war of words between the two major parties of this country continues. Back to the studio.
Yes, Piyush, stay with us. More breaking updates coming in. We are understanding that raids are also underway in Maharashtra and Telangana, and that more news that is just coming in that CBI is going through the files and records at Sisodia's place and other government officials who are being searched by the CBI. So that's another breaking update coming in at this point, that the CBI is going through the files and records at Sisodia's residence where the raids are currently underway. In fact, more news that is coming in that other government officials who are also being raided by the CBI at this point. In fact, searches are also underway in Maharashtra and Telangana as we speak. Piyush, take us through these updates coming in. We understand raids, of course, taking place in 7 states and 21 locations to be precise.
So as you said, it seems that, this excise policy which was drafted by Delhi, may seem to be very extensive. And now, since CBI is conducting a raid, on several locations, they want to make sure that all the digital evidences and all the vital leads are obtained in this case. Mind you, this is also a very precarious and this is also a very risky case that is being taken by CBI because, there are two political parties involved. Now, what happens in these kind of cases is that, whenever the CBI conducts its inquiry or whenever the CBI conducts raids, you see a lot of war of words between, the political parties. You already are seeing that, a lot of opposition parties are alleging that, there is a witch hunt which is being done by the government agencies in order to, malign the political parties. So you can understand that how difficult and how precarious it becomes for the investigating agencies also when they are conducting raids or when they are conducting inquiry into this matter. Having said that, the CBI also realizes that, the corruption in this case, if it happens, if it is there, may be extensive and it will be very wide-reaching. So what they're doing is that they're not only conducting raids in Delhi, but they're also conducting raids in 7 other states. That includes Goa, Telangana and Maharashtra, as you rightly said. The CBI officials want to make sure that they have all the evidences, they all have all the digital records, and they have all the files related to this case, so that if and when they are going to take major action against the accused, they should have all the major evidences against them, so that they can withstand all the accusations that are being leveled against them. Back to you, the studio.
Yes, Piyush, stay with us. If you could show us the scenes you are seeing around you right now. Like you were telling us, and in fact you also showed us visuals of Sisodia coming out. In fact, he was seen just near his gate. If you could take us through the details that you're picking up and also show us the scenes around.
Yeah, so you can just see over here that, there is you can see the house of the Manish Sisodia, where raids are still being conducted, and you can see that, officials are inside Manish Sisodia's residence, where they are trying to find major evidences that may be, helpful for them in order to get details of this proposed excise policy, in which there are accusations of major corruptions and irregularities that have happened. The raids occurred today early in the morning, and not only at Manish Sisodia's residence, but the raids have also occurred in 20 other locations, including the former excise commissioner. As you said, that raids are not only being conducted in Delhi, but raids are also being conducted in 7 other states that also include Goa, Telangana and Maharashtra. So you can understand that if the CBI also realizes that the irregularities and corruption, if it would have happened in this in drafting this policy, would have been very wide-reaching. It would have been very extensive. So the officials of CBI are making sure that they get all the vital leads in this case before they actually take action against ministers and officials in this government. Mind you, that main accused in this case is Manish Sisodia, who is one of the top ministers of Aam Aadmi Party. So you can understand the significance and the risk which is involved when CBI is going to charge him in this case. So before CBI takes any major action against Aam Aadmi Party, they want to make sure that they have all the major evidences against Manish Sisodia and his ministers in this alleged excise policy case. Back to you in the studio.
Yes, Piyush, also if you could once again take us through the details of this FIR that has been registered. We understand that Manish Sisodia has been named as an accused. Take us through the details of this FIR.
So yes, as you know that there was a excise policy which was drafted by the Delhi government, in 17th November 2021. Now, what it has been accused, or what it has been alleged, is that there has been a lot of irregularities that have been, in this excise policy, in which, undue favors were given to certain vendor units, and because of which, there was a loss of exchequer to the Delhi government. Now, because of which, the chief secretary drafted all these notifications, all these observances in his note and gave it to the LG. Following which, when the LG, Vinny Saxena, saw this notification, he asked the CBI to investigate the matter. Following which, the CBI filed a case in this matter, and on 8th of July, and following which now the raids have begun to take place at Manish Sisodia's residence and 20 other locations. So an FIR was registered in this case, and now it was widely anticipated that CBI is going to take an action in this case, and now the CBI has finally begun to take action in this case by raiding house of Manish Sisodia, the top minister of Aam Aadmi Party, and several other ministers and several other officials that may be involved in this case. Back to you.
Yes, also Piyush, if you can talk to us more about the reactions coming in and what is AAP saying at this point, because what AAP is saying in the latest is that the AAP is being targeted especially because of the education policy which is being talked about across the globe. Of course, crying a witch hunt there, but take us through more reactions coming in by the AAP leaders.
So as you've been seeing, whenever these kind of raids occur on any other leaders of political party, there's bound to be political war of words, and so has been in this case also. The moment there was a raid that was conducted at Manish Sisodia's residence, first Manish Sisodia tweeted that there was CBI that had come to his residence for conducting raids, and he was welcoming them. He was welcoming them, saying that because of the harassment that has been meted out to leaders who are against the current central government. It is because of the harassment being meted out to them by these investigating agencies is the main reason that why India is not progressing. Moments after his tweet, even the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, also tweeted giving the same reaction of saying that irrespective of the harassment, irrespective of the troubles that are being caused by the investigating agencies on the opposition parties, they will not continue to get deterred and they will continue to do their good work. So they were trying to target the investigating agencies and saying that it was all being done in order to malign the good work of Aam Aadmi Party. They also mentioned that the raids of CBI are being happening
just
at a time
stay with
when
us,
the New York
Piyush.
Times mentioned about the education model.
Well, more breaking news that is just coming in. Former LG has launched an all-out attack against Sisodia, saying that facts are now in public domain. We have Anuj reporting live. If I can take that breaking across to Anuj. Anuj, now we have the former LG who's issued a statement on these raids. Take us through the details.
Well, exactly. This is the letter which has been accessed by the Republic TV, and this is the same letter which was written by the former LG, that's Anil Bajal, and the letter in which he is stating about the policy which was implemented by the Delhi government on which the CBI is taking the action. We have the copy of the letter, and let me go through the few lines of the letter. Raising doubt and levelling allegation against LG's decision has been norm. Ever since AAP has formed the government in Delhi, the allegation now made by Shri Manish Sisodia are baseless and are motivated against me. They are nothing but blatant lies and falsehood being perpetrated by desperate men to save his own skin. Mr. Sisodia is trying to find some alibi for his colleague's act of commission and omission. Let me tell you, this was the letter which was written by the LG after Manish Sisodia's pressure. Manish Sisodia there did a press conference in the national capital, and after this was the letter which was written by the Anil Bajal, the former LG of the national capital. Let me also remind you that we are talking about the update. Then this is being alleged by the Bharatiya Janata Party that this is a scam, and that we have seen earlier also the different press conferences which was done by the Bharatiya Janata Party, and now the Aam Aadmi Party is calling it a vendetta. Now Aam Aadmi Party is calling it a vendetta, that this is all political vendetta, and this was stated earlier also. CBI is in action since on the morning, but this was stated earlier also. It was the press conference which was done by none other but Manish Sisodia himself, the Deputy Chief Minister, who is under the radar of CBI at this point in time, and we are getting multiple reactions from the Bharatiya Janata Party since on the morning also, and Aam Aadmi Party taking the line that this is a political vendetta. We came to know about these particular raids. We came to know about this multiple raids of CBI since from the morning, which is underway by Manish Sisodia tweet itself, because Manish Sisodia mentioning it there in the tweet that CBI is at my residence, they are welcome, by talking about the education system. There, Manish Sisodia talking about the work which has been done by the Delhi government. So that's the line which has been taken by the Aam Aadmi Party, calling it a political vendetta, whereas Bharatiya Janata Party alleging it a liquor scam. So that is something what we have to see, wait and watch what exactly CBI will be coming out, because CBI at this point in time is going through the papers, what I have been told, is going through the papers at the Manish Sisodia's residence, and the FIR FIR has been already registered against 5, including Manish Sisodia and the 4 other officials, including the former excise commissioner. So this is becoming big now because the CBI is in action since from the very morning, and we have seen the political ramification of the same. Earlier also, there several press conferences was done by Manish Sisodia, and there the Bharatiya Janata Party alleging the same, that this is a liquor scam. We have seen the reaction of Anurag Thakur, the union minister, coming out and targeting Aam Aadmi Party. But we will have to wait and watch what exactly will be coming out by the CBI, what exactly CBI is going to do in the investigation, where the investigation is going to be taken. But if we talk about the liquor policy,
the liquor policy which came in action last year in November, then let me clarify it more. Now this is under the radar of CBI. We are reporting live on the story. We are breaking the big development on the story. We have broken the letter which was written by the LG. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned. Reporting live on the story.
Have begun exactly at 9 when Republic broke this exclusive story. Many areas that are very near to international border, that is also being raided by the teams of the National Investigation Agency. They will be raiding the house of Faisal Munir, who is a terrorist of Lashkar-e-Toiba, involved in the dropping of consignment, especially the consignment that was coming from Pakistan and was going to Kashmir Valley. National Investigation Agency teams are leaving this house of Lashkar terrorist Faisal Munir after recovery of documents and some incriminating material.
And a roundup of news in brief. President Draupadi Murmu greeted citizens on the eve of Janmashtami and prayed that the festival inspires all to follow the path of virtue in one's thoughts, words and actions. In a message, the president said that Lord Krishna's life and teachings included the message of well-being of one and all. Former UK Chancellor and British Prime Ministerial hopeful Rishi Sunak on August 18 visited Bhakti Vrindav Manor Temple along with his wife on the occasion of Janmashtami. Notably, the Indian origin Sunak's wife Akshata Murthy is a daughter of Indian software baron Narayan Murthy. Processions were held in all parts of the district in connection with Sri Krishna Jayanti. District level inauguration of Shobha Yatra under Balaghulam was held at Sri Kanteshwara Temple in the city. Children, meanwhile, with attires of Lord Krishna and with different themes, flooded in all roads, making colourful processions. In Jagat Mandir of Yatra Dham Dwarka, special arrangements were made for the worship of the devotees by complete district Vahivati Tantra, and the police administration was also deployed for large number of security forces, as well as lighting up of Jagat Mandir of Dwarka. It is decorated, which was a wonderful sight, attracting the devotees of Lord Krishna to the temple. In the Manjalpur area of Vadodara, the Lakshmi Narayan temple will be offered to the Lord at a cost of 25 lakhs. After his birth, the Lord is worshipped in a swing. This time, Lakshmi Narayan. Well, tracking closely all the updates coming in on the CBI raids which are underway at Manish Sisodia's residence, in fact at 21 locations. We are told that the CBI officials are going through the files and records at Sisodia's place, and other government officials who are also being searched by the CBI in connection with Delhi's excise policy. In fact, former LG now has also hit out at Manish Sisodia, saying that Sisodia is trying to find an alibi to corroborate Sisodia's claims. That is what we are learning. In fact, former LG also saying that he had flagged unlawful activities and these unlawful decisions that were taken by the Delhi government. Stepping into a very short break. On the other side, we'll continue to get you the latest and stand by for the hour briefing at 11 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. The decision of the Gujarat government to free Bilkis Bano's rapists is not just morally and ethically wrong, it mutilates the very concept of justice. And I'm shocked that in a country that came together to fight for Nirbhaya 10 years back, there is pin-drop silence from so many. I'm horrified also that political parties with one eye on the Gujarat elections are not ready to speak out openly on it, especially not in Gujarat. The images of Bilkis Bano's rapists being garlanded and greeted and honored. Look at those pictures, viewers. And given sweets outside the jail in Godhra, as if the act of rape and murder is something that we should celebrate. These pictures are as reprehensible as the images of former minister and BJP leader Jayant Sinha garlanding lynchers in Jharkhand a few years back. Any form of appeasement is bad. So speak up, viewers. Appeasing lynchers is bad. Appeasing rapists and murderers and killers of a 3-year-old child is unacceptable. The 11 accused of raping Bilkis are also responsible for killing her young daughter. And they need to be made to feel responsible for life, for what they did. As a society, as a nation, and as a people, we cannot call the rapists men of good character, good sanskar, like the BJP MLA who was part of the committee that signed the release order has done. Are we going to be quiet about it?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के भ्रष्टाचारी देश को लूट रहे हैं और पूंजीपतियों के साथ मिलकर मोदी जी की सरकार लूट रही है, उन पे कहीं का कभी कोई सुनते हैं कि कोई एक पुलिस की भी छोटी सी कार्रवाई हो जाए? तो ये बात बिल्कुल साफ तौर पे देश के लोग देख रहे हैं, समझ में आ रहा है सबको।
लेकिन सर ये एक्साइज पॉलिसी जो है इसको फिर कैंसिल
अरे भाई ये ऐसे 50 बार कर चुके हैं। आप याद कीजिए, ऐसे ही चिल्ला रहे थे जब राजेंद्र कुमार के ऊपर छापा मारा था। बहुत बड़ा घोटाला मिल गया, बहुत बड़ा भ्रष्टाचार मिल गया, इतने फ्लैट, इतनी कंपनियां, कहां गया? कुछ हुआ आज तक? तो इसलिए मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि इस पॉलिसी को लेकर कई बार मनीष सिसोदिया जी ने और हमारी पार्टी ने स्पष्ट रूप से कहा। अच्छा, यही पॉलिसी को लेकर बैजल पे रिकमेंड किया है सीबीआई जांच के लिए। बैजल के लिए चिट्ठी लिखा है मनीष सिसोदिया जी ने, छापा पड़ा बैजल के ऊपर। क्यों? क्योंकि उनके माध्यम से भाजपा नेताओं को दलाली मिली है, उन पे जांच नहीं होगी। इसी पॉलिसी में अप्रूव्ड पॉलिसी को 2 दिन पहले बैजल जी ने बदला, उन पे सीबीआई जांच की मांग उप मुख्यमंत्री ने किया, चिट्ठी लिखा बाकायदा, उन पे कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हो रही। पूरी बीजेपी उनके समर्थन में खड़ी हो जा रही है। तो क्या ये लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है?
तो फिर सर अब आगे क्या रणनीति रहेगी, क्योंकि सत्येंद्र जैन पहले से जेल में है, आगे चुनाव भी है।
करें सीबीआई की जांच, स्वागत है इनका। हम लोग पूरी तरीके से कोऑपरेट करेंगे। पहले भी कुछ नहीं निकला, आगे भी कुछ नहीं निकलेगा, ये कह सकता हूं।
मनीष सिसोदिया जी एकदम बिल्कुल
साफ सुथरे होकर निकलेंगे। कहीं कोई, पहले ये लोग सैकड़ों जांचें करा चुके हैं, कुछ नहीं मिला, इसमें भी कुछ नहीं मिलेगा। इनको ये इनकी हताशा, निराशा, बौखलाहट का नतीजा है।
Well, the Aam Aadmi Party there saying it's all political vendetta, even as the CBI is conducting searches at over 21 places in and around NCR, including at Manish Sisodia's residence. And a short while back, our reporter Anuj, who's at the scene, was telling us about how FIRs have been registered against 5 people, including Manish Sisodia, in the Delhi excise case. The Aam Aadmi Party denies all the accusations and the allegations, says it will come clean. 4 public servants, including then Commissioner Excise E. Gopikrishnan, under the scanner now. and Manish Sisodia's office is also being searched. CBI conducting raids in 21 places in the liquor license case or the Delhi excise policy case. The Aam Aadmi Party denying all the charges and meanwhile all eyes on that press briefing.
उस लूट की बात दिल्ली की जनता कर रही थी, गली गली में महिलाएं कर रही थीं, बच्चे कर रहे थे, मंदिरों के सामने, मस्जिदों के सामने, गुरुद्वारों के सामने, देवालयों के सामने बैठे हुए लोग जहां शराब की दुकानें खुल रही थीं, गली गली में शराब की दुकान खोल रही थी, सभी इसकी बात कर रहे थे और पुकार कर रहे थे कि ये बड़ी लूट है, एक बड़ी साजिश है, इस पे इसका दूध का दूध पानी का पानी होना चाहिए। आज जब से सीबीआई इंक्वायरी हुई, सीबीआई की आज रेड पड़ी है, अब इनको इसमें क्या परेशानी हो रही है कि जो भी हुआ है उसका दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो। ये आबकारी नीति जिसके ऊपर एक बड़ी लूट हुई और जैसे ही जांच बैठती है, आम आदमी पार्टी की दिल्ली की सरकार यू टर्न मार लेती है, वो अपनी आबकारी नीति बदल देती है। तो आबकारी नीति बदलने से, शराब की नीति बदलने से लूट तो नहीं रुक जाएगी। उस पे मैं समझता हूं ये सीबीआई की रेड जो हुई है इसका स्वागत करना चाहिए सबको। और दिल्ली की आम जनता, दिल्ली की महिलाएं रो रो कर चीख चीख के कह रही थीं, उनकी हाय लगी है और अब दूध का दूध पानी का पानी होगा, ऐसा हमें विश्वास है।
मनीष सिसोदिया ने ट्वीट करके कहा है कि मैं जो है ये साजिश है हमें तोड़ने की, मैं अगर लगातार बच्चों को मुस्कान दे रहे हैं, अच्छे स्कूल बना रहे हैं, हमारे खिलाफ ऐसी साजिश की जा रही है।
भाई ये आपके पाप के कारण हो रहा है। मनीष सिसोदिया जी का पाप है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का पाप है। इन्होंने दिल्ली को शराब नगरी बनाने चले थे और जैसे ही जांच हुई वैसे ही नीति बदलना स्पष्ट कहता है कि दाल में कुछ बड़ा काला है और उसका दूध का दूध पानी का पानी होना चाहिए।
And we have with us Piyush Ohri outside Manish Sisodia's residence. Manish Sisodia is the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. Piyush, the Aam Aadmi Party claims that the CBI will find nothing in the raids that are currently underway. It says that it's all part of a political vendetta. It's over to you to take us through what's happening. Any new developments? We believe that, searches have been going on since this morning.
So yes, as you rightly said, the searches are being conducted at Manish Sisodia's residence and 20 other locations, which are related to this drafting of excise policy. And while, the raids are being conducted, the political war of words between the Aam Aadmi Party and BJP has started. The Aam Aadmi Party first on its line of defense have said that, this is a way to malign and to defame the party, whose good work is now being, credited even abroad. They say that, at a time when New York Times has, acknowledged the good work of Aam Aadmi Party, the central government through its investigating agencies is now trying to defame the government through its investigative agencies. But, they gave examples of Rajinder Kumar, the former bureaucrat, who was related to Aam Aadmi Party, the searches that were conducted by him on investigating agencies and in which nothing was found. So they gave example of Rajinder Kumar and said that just like Rajinder Kumar, nothing is going to be found even at the residence of Manish Sisodia's house, where the CBI is at present conducting its raids. Having said that, the Aam Aadmi Party also realizes that it's on back foot, taking into consideration that one of its another minister, Satendra Jain, is already in the judicial custody. And now all these factors taking into consideration and all the corruption involved, the BJP also is trying to make sure that it tries to emphasize on the corruption of Aam Aadmi Party, the alleged corruption of Aam Aadmi Party in the excise policy. And, several Delhi BJP ministers like Manoj Tiwari, Pravesh Verma and other ministers have now come forward and said that, the CBI is conducting raids so that they can find and they can establish the major corruption that was done in drafting the excise policy that became operational last year in November 2021. Back to you in the studio.
Right, Piyush will be coming back to you. Let's go across live to Madhurima. Madhurima is speaking with BJP leader Manoj Tiwari. Madhurima, it's over to you.
शराब नीति का ऐसा है। और शराब नीति वो आबकारी नीति जिसमें दिल्ली के करोड़ों की लूट हुई है। और इसका एग्जाम्पल इसी से मिल जाता है कि जैसे ही इस शराब नीति की जांच शुरू होती है, ये तुरंत अपनी आबकारी नीति बदल देते हैं। एक ले मैन को भी, ले पर्सन को भी पता चल जाएगा कि इन्होंने जो जांच शुरू होते ही शराब नीति वापस ली, आबकारी नीति वापस ली, इसका मतलब कि पूरी दाल काली है। अब सीबीआई आपके दरवाजे है, आप उसको अपनी बेगुनाही का सबूत दीजिए। आप ट्वीट खेल रहे हैं। मुझे लगता है आप आगे बढ़ें। ये इस देश नहीं, दुनिया के किसी स्टेट के द्वारा किया गया सबसे बड़ा घोटाले में आने जा रहा है और इसकी क्रोनोलॉजी को पूरा देश समझ रहा है। कोरोना लहर के समय जब लोगों को इलाज देना था, तब ये शराब नीति बना रहे थे। मुझे कुछ नहीं कहना, मुझे सिर्फ इतना, मैं इस सीबीआई इंक्वायरी का स्वागत करता हूं दिल्ली का सांसद होने के नाते। और मेरा मानना है कि एक एक चीज की बारीकी से जांच होनी चाहिए, चाहे वो मनीष सिसोदिया से लेकर अरविंद केजरीवाल तक क्यों न जाती है।
सर, सिसोदिया जी लेकिन कह रहे हैं कि वो कोऑपरेट करेंगे और उनको तोड़ा नहीं जा सकता, क्योंकि दिल्ली के लाखों बच्चों के जिनकी उन्होंने उनके हिसाब से जिंदगी संवारी है, उनका प्यार उनके साथ है।
भाई, मनीष सिसोदिया जी मीडिया के सवालों का तो जवाब दे नहीं पा रहे हैं। कल भी मैं देख रहा था पीसी में, ऐसा उठ के भागते हैं